our library of over 75,000 movies and shows. And save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC+. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's PHILO.TV.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
After suffering an injury, you may face many hard questions. What will tomorrow bring? Which firm should I choose to represent me and my family? At Morgan & Morgan, we will hold your hand every step of the way. From our one-click sign-up, mobile apps, and 24/7 availability, we make it easy to get your case started right from the comfort of your couch. All firms are not the same. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Their video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Make your home renovation dreams come true with Emon's Remodeling.
We handle everything from concept to completion, delivering beautiful, functional spaces for you and your family to enjoy.
Our seasoned designers and construction experts ensure your project is completed on time and on budget.
Give us a call today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emons, we have you covered.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
But if you use paper, it's 8% the cost of the other. It's more accurate. And you don't have 12-day waits. And then what the hell's happening in the inside of those machines if you wait? We want the answer tomorrow, tonight. We want the answer tonight.
And away we go. Live on this Tuesday, November 5th, Election Day 2024. Oh, yes, it is indeed Kayal and Company right here on Talk Radio 1210 at WPHT. We are always live on the free Odyssey app and, of course, streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube as we head until 10 o'clock this morning. 855-839-1210. That is the phone number. Social media at 1210 WPHT. And, of course, on YouTube. Dawn Stenslin with the news. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Phil Almquist, Jimmy Kelly, our associate producers.
Get up, Harry.
Get up. Let's go. Time to get off the couch. You're going to vote for Trump today. Dawn, good morning. How are you, dear?
Doing great. Fired up. Big day. Big endorsements within the past less than 24 hours.
I saw that.
Wow.
So anxious, nervous, a combination, confident, scared as hell. What's going through your mind this morning? A little variety platter? Little everything? Little agita?
I am confident right now, but always praying.
All right. Greg
praying
Stocker.
for truth.
Yes.
I am never praying. However, I would like to say this. I will say this.
Yes.
The first results are in. Dixville, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
6 votes, and we are tied. 3-3.
I tweeted that out this morning.
3-3, we are tied.
So is there a game 7? What do we do here?
So right now, just like the polls, we are tied. We're a tied election. Thank you very much. But I will say this: the good news is, for all of you out there in Radio Land, last time this election happened in 2020, all 6 votes went for Joe Biden.
Holy cow!
So, if you want to put anything from that, we like to take tea leaves from this, that, and the other. There you go.
But 4 years later, the thought in that little area could be this.
You done pissed me off, Joe.
That's right. And he could be going for Trump this time.
Let's go, Harry.
Yep.
Exactly right.
Why don't we just get Punxsutawney Phil in on it? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, what the heck?
See if that little fat man saw his shadow, go back in his hole, and disappear for 6 more weeks. Oh, what a day we have for you today. Big take coming up, why I am voting for Donald Trump in my own words. Not that that should be a surprise to any of you, but I'll lay it out as to why at 11 o'clock today when I go back to Bluebell and I head to my local voting spot, I will be pulling the lever for Donald J. Trump. Also, 2 local stories from Politico this morning in Pennsylvania with the election. Number 1, how groceries in Philly and the suburbs could be what sinks the Democrats. And also, Trump's gains in Reading, Pennsylvania with Latino voters and why that could be another winning ingredient. Both from Politico. We'll get to that this morning. Stocker will give us the final tabulations of the NBC News early voting tracker. We'll see if there was any movement compared to yesterday's numbers as we now vote in person on Election Day. Also, Nikki Haley, Wall Street Journal op-ed on why, quote, Trump is the better choice. Interesting choice of words. And Kellyanne Conway has penned the 7 reasons why Kamala Harris will lose. We'll get to that as we continue. The cut sheet at 7:45. And, of course, throughout the day, and I saw Dom tweet this a little bit earlier this morning, as you were heading out to the ballots and you're making your vote, just like 2 years ago, just like 4 years ago, I would presume, 8 years ago, call in, tell us. You're the Kayal and Company correspondents. You're our ground reporters. What are the lines looking like? What technical issues are going on? I'd like to hear the good stories as well.
By the way,
were you in and out in 9 minutes?
Yes, I said yesterday, the good, the bad, the ugly. We
Give it to us all.
By the way, polls are officially open in New Jersey. 6 a.m. they open in the great state of New Jersey. So if you're in the listening area in New Jersey,
let us know.
Yeah, get out there and tell us how your line was.
Well, much like
how big was your line?
Yeah. In the Garden State, it's a lot like this show.
We start at 6 a.m. And then Pennsylvania, low energy starts at 7.
7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yes. Even though Trump tweeted out something to the effect of polls open at 8 p.m. in Pennsylvania.
8 p.m.? Well, if they open at 8 p.m., we're doomed. You ain't catching up now on Election Day if you start at 8 p.m.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
You got to start early to get ahead, folks. All right, let's get down to it. Let's get to the news. Round number 1 at 6:06. The great Dawn Stensland.
Good morning, Kayal and Company News Live, sponsored this morning by American Heritage Credit Union. This November 5th, Election Day. A 15-year-old injured after a shooting broke out near Temple University. This is obviously in North Philadelphia. This happened on the 1700 block of North 12th Street. So Temple officials sent out the alert to warn students, and that's usually what they do, sending out the alert. Police say they found the victim suffering from that gunshot wound to the arm, transported to Temple University Hospital, which is right there. No weapons recovered at the scene. no arrests have been made. We know that, as often happens, Philadelphia police working right alongside Temple University police to investigate this incident. But at this time, it does not appear that any Temple students were involved or victimized in any way by this shooting. So I know they're reviewing that surveillance footage around the area to try to locate the shooter. No word yet on what may have sparked that gunfire, but they're asking any potential witnesses to come over. But a 15-year-old injured after that shooting breaks out right near Temple University, right in North Philadelphia. So another concerning one as we're still in fall and many people thinking about security on campus. And speaking of Philadelphia and law and order, let's talk about Elon Musk back in court, his attorneys, I should say, back in court. And this time, a victory for Musk as the
yourself.
Actually, Krasner was the one who used the F word, which is kind of.
I saw we have that for the cut sheet.
Yeah.
But this is a
tough guy.
This is Krasner's case against Elon Musk, which we know that even pundits, election experts have said this is a form of political persecution by Krasner against a Trump supporter. But this is a Pennsylvania judge yesterday allowing Elon Musk's $1 million so-called giveaway to swing state voters, including here to Pennsylvania, to proceed. So this was a day of testimony yesterday in Philadelphia in which the billionaires, aides, and those who work for him acknowledged that his political group had selected the contest winners. So they're not winning by random. It's not like a random drawing for the $1 million, but rather that they were selected. And so this was a bit of a surprise to some people, but Musk's
Because Musk himself said that it was random. Because he said it was actually going to be random, and it actually wasn't random.
I'm glad that he won.
It wasn't random.
Right.
But Musk said that it was going to be random.
Yeah.
He said it was a random drawing.
It was kind of a scam.
Kind of.
I don't know that I don't know, because I'd have to go back and listen to everything that he said. So did they?
Seemed like to me that they kind of screened the people that they viewed would be good representatives of the winning check, so to speak. Yeah. Which is still cool. I mean, he's still giving away money, but it was kind of false advertising.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you guys fill out? Guys fill out you didn't do it?
I did not,
so
no.
I guess I'm the only one who did.
I took Greg's FanDuel picks and lost that.
If you went to it and you signed the petition in the writing, the petition did say, do you support the First Amendment? Do you support the Second Amendment?
Yep.
And it did have wording in there, legalese, if you will, that you would be a willing participant and a spokesperson.
Mm-hmm.
So there was language in there about that.
Yeah.
And so whatever he said on the stage, you still had to read through. It was like a long statement.
Which nobody does, right? Nobody reads all
I
the
actually
the
did
fine
at the
print.
time.
God bless
and
you.
It struck me as odd that it said, you'd be a willing spokesperson for the First and Second Amendments, as well as for his PAC.
I just love that Larry Krasner took the L.
Bottom line, Larry Krasner is a clown who should not have brought charges against Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And also, it's a little shady what Elon Musk is doing. That's the bottom line.
But I got a tweet yesterday. Elon Musk has 20 kids with 30 women or something like that. Some absurd number.
11 kids.
Yeah. What's going on with that guy?
They all live on a compound somewhere.
I agree with nothing these two guys say. I'm just saying. Right now.
Elon's he's repopulating. He's doing his own redistricting.
Look, so lawyers for Musk's pro-Trump America PAC wanted to persuade this judge, Angelo Foglietta, that the contest was not an illegal lottery, as Philadelphia DA Krasner had said.
Yeah.
And in this case, the judge ruled on the side of Musk.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets to continue. And by the way, he will give away $1 million to some lucky person.
91 LS Exorcist was the second prize a year's tuition at Trump University.
Well, you guys are a bunch of comedians.
Tesla Cybertrucks for everybody.
Yeah, Elexer, Greg, and Kayal out the hallway, spanking machine.
Yep.
By 6:30 a.m. this morning. So big endorsements. I was surprised to see, I know Megyn Kelly here in Pennsylvania endorsing Trump on stage.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that last night.
So that was a reunion. We have Dr. Rand Paul endorsing Trump, and we have one Joe Rogan endorsing Trump.
How about that? Now again,
I mean, did anybody think he was not going to endorse him?
Here's my theory. If Kamala Harris joins him on the podcast and we got both candidates on the Joe Rogan Experience, I don't think he endorses Trump. I think this was a last second, by design, bleep you for blowing me off.
I disagree. I think as soon as RFK Jr. went to the Trump camp, Elon Musk is his buddy, Dana White's his buddy. These are all like his inner circle. There was no chance in my mind, no shot in my mind that he was not endorsing Trump.
See, I look at it from the standpoint of Trump went on with Rogan, Vance went on, and even John Fetterman went on.
Yep.
So, I mean, now if you would have told me pre-interview with any of those three, who is he more likely to endorse? I agree, it would have been Trump, but
I'm surprised he waited until 8 o'clock last night to do it, or whenever he did it.
By design?
I don't know.
Last second?
I don't know.
23rd hour type deal?
Yep.
In my opinion, there are so many people who haven't perhaps voted in years because they love Dr. Rand Paul, and we haven't heard a lot from him. And I have to wonder what impact Dr. Rand Paul's endorsement of Trump within 24 hours of this all-important election, what impact does it have on those independent registered voters
the same
in
as
swing
Beyonce's.
states?
The same as Beyonce's.
I don't know. No, I seriously, I don't know. Speaking of Beyonce, by the way, and celebrities, so the Harris campaign, the local media calling it a massive election eve rally on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway, not so far away from where we're broadcasting live here from Odyssey World headquarters. But I will tell you that there are many street closures. I know that the drives are still, Kelly Drive, a lot of the drives are still closed. Exit ramps are still closed. So, just watch the traffic this morning. I'm hearing that those closures, those road closures, because of that concert last night, in which Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey was there. He's obviously getting a run for his money by Republican political outsider who's never been a politician, Dave McCormick. So Casey was there, Philadelphia Mayor Sherrell Parker. They had kicked this off at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. But I'm told that these street closures may actually last until 8 o'clock tonight.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. So Aikens Oval, that whole area, and the drives are impacted, some exit ramps. This does happen like every election period.
Mm-hmm.
I never understand why.
Yeah.
But just a heads up for anybody heading, in and out of Philadelphia, that's not a pretty sight. So we are sponsored this morning by American Heritage Credit Union. Ready to buy a home with American Heritage Credit Union's Home Connection? You get cash, rewards, lower mortgage rates, and discounts. Just visit AmericanHeritageCU.org/Home Connection, insured by NCUA, not a member. Join today. NMLS 433838. Thank you, American Heritage Credit Union, for sponsoring our Kayal and Company News Live on this really a beautiful day weather-wise for Election Day. We're at 52 degrees with a heavy fog in some areas, but that should burn off with the sun. 76 degrees today, and then tomorrow for your Wednesday, 80 degrees for Wednesday. We remain warmer than usual Thursday with 73, all sunshine. Friday, the sun remains with 67 degrees. And then for the weekend, we go into the mid to lower 60s, still quite seasonable. I don't see measurable rain. Here we are, November 5th. I don't see measurable rain through the 10-day forecast.
May never rain again, Dawn. This could be it.
Right?
This is it.
What is going on?
By the way, JML tweeted us at 6:08, and he is waiting in line. 6 a.m. He says he's never had to wait in line this early before. He tweeted us a picture of it. There's a line wrapped around the building.
Do not get out of line.
So wait, in Jersey?
Yes.
Or in not in Pennsylvania? Because I thought Man, we're in trouble if in Pennsylvania they're lined up. You know what I mean? Nearly 2 hours ahead.
I got to go
time.
to my little school. I just realized that they moved my voting location. I'm glad I double checked yesterday online. It went from a church to a school, so I got to be there today around 11 o'clock and fight off the lunch crowd.
Yeah, as Linda Kearns, warned us yesterday, the lines, they are expecting record turnout across, especially Pennsylvania. So get ready to stand in line and, like Nick said, try to get there during maybe lower, if you go at lunchtime, obviously, or right when school gets out, that sort of thing, those are going to be the heavy times.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I saw a statistic last night that's North Carolina and Georgia, 81% of people vote, eligible voters voted either early or by mail. Mm-hmm. Pennsylvania, only 25.
I know. That's my concern. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it in the Sun Belt compared to the Rust Belt. The numbers are staggering. Yep.
So get out and vote today, but call in to us. This is Kayal and Company News Live.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 6:17 Tuesday morning. Let's get to an election day big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
And it's brought to you by Budget Blinds. The Big Take, why I am voting for Donald J. Trump. I believe in giving my audience my honest opinion on every subject, on every story, every single day. Whether you agree with me or not is irrelevant. I value the marketplace of ideas. We all have opinions, and I'm for everybody expressing them and letting society sort it out with what to believe, who to believe, and then responding and acting accordingly. I don't believe political endorsements really matter. I think they hardly move the needle. And I don't tell people who to vote for, but I am telling you this morning why I am voting for Donald Trump. And I'm going to give you my 8 positions and 8 beliefs to put it out there for discourse and discussion. And it's up to you if you want to debate me on any of my views. And I've made my voting history known publicly on this show when we launched in October of 2022. I became a Republican 8 years ago in 2016 because of Donald Trump, and I voted for him. Prior to that, I only voted one time. That was for Barack Obama in 2008. And this will be my 4th time voting. Once Democrat for Obama's first term, twice for Donald Trump, and here we go for round number 3. And if you recall, in 2022, when we started this show, and the first half of 2023, I was of the belief that Ron DeSantis was the GOP's best chance of winning the next election, if he could get past Donald Trump in a primary. My fear was that Trump was dead on arrival in the general election, but that changed. And in 2024, here are the 8 reasons why I am riding with Donald Trump. And those reasons are the economy, free speech, illegal immigration, weaponized government, police and crime, global wars, CRT in classrooms, and men in women's sports. Let me start with the economy, and I'll package inflation and energy under the economy umbrella. Under Donald Trump, my dollar went further. Groceries were cheaper. Gas was cheaper. The cost of heating and cooling my house was cheaper. Inflation was around 2%. And the cost of home ownership was fair and affordable. Now, at 40 years old, I'm making the most money I've ever made in my life, and home ownership is almost out of reach. The American dream is on life support. Number 2, next up, free speech. I live in a world where I value the Bill of Rights. I value the Constitution. Democrats, the elites, and the mainstream media, they no longer value free speech. And I'm pretty darn close to being a free speech absolutist. You should be able to say what you want. Now, I do believe that there are consequences, and I don't like hate speech, but what transpired on social media platforms during the pandemic pushed me to this medium and this career choice. I don't believe political speech should be a one-way street when we live in a 2-party country. And you see it on the T-shirts, you see it on the sweatshirts, you wore it 2 Fridays ago in West Berlin. Kayal and Company, free speech lives here. Number 3, illegal immigration. What Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and the D.C. swamp has done is unforgivable. The great replacement theory has happened right in front of our faces, and it comes at your expense. Countless women or children assaulted, raped, tortured, and killed, all because Democrats are trying to turn America into a one-party nation as they've unloaded illegal immigrants all over the country specifically the 7 swing states, flying people into sanctuary cities at all times of the night. Why are they doing that if they have nothing to hide? Number 4, weaponize the government. We don't indict our political opponents in America. We don't arrest them. We don't raid their houses. We don't charge them with countless trumped-up felonies, especially by prosecutors and district attorneys who are soft on crime in their own jurisdictions, especially those who campaigned on going after a politician if they got elected. Number 5, returning power to the police and cracking down on violent crime. I'm done with the defund the police era. I'm not going to tolerate any media outlet or politician's attempts at demonizing, demoralizing, or defunding police officers anymore. Failed experiment. It doesn't work. You've emboldened the criminals and they laugh at authority because they know nothing will happen to them. They'll be back out on the streets in hours. Number 6, wars. Trump wants to end pointless wars and the nonstop funding of the war machine. I despise the military-industrial complex. I loathe the warmongering politicians who don't have an ounce of testicular fortitude, but they'll send your kid over there to get his head blown off. War is big business, and Trump's a businessman, yet Trump wants no part of it. That's why they want Trump out. He's a thorn in the machine's side. Under Trump, we had peace in the Middle East. Under Trump, Russia didn't invade Ukraine. Under Trump, Iran, North Korea, and China knew not to mess around. I'll take the mean tweets and the occasional comments that leave you scratching your head and saying, the hell is Trump babbling about? And I'll take all of that with world peace. Number 7, men in women's sports. If you are born with male genitalia, you have no place in a woman's locker room, no place in a woman's bathroom, or their sport, or any safe space that biological females are supposed to be free of biological males. I have twin 10-year-old daughters. They're not going to be pushed aside for somebody born with a penis who is now experiencing a mental health crisis. That's a you problem. It's not going to be my problem. And then number 8, critical race theory. I'm over the classroom indoctrination. I'm done with having left-wing educators insist that all white people are inherently racist. And you will not put this blatant, slanted, anti-white agenda in front of my children. Teach them about slavery. No problem with that. Teach them about America's ugly past. I got it. But the radical elements of CRT, it doesn't fly with me. The same goes with the sexualized content. There won't be any pornographic material in front of my daughters as minors, pre-puberty. No way. Donald Trump, in my opinion, the clear and only choice. Why? Because from 2017 to 2019, he delivered. I had more money. I had free speech. My border was secure. We're not on the verge of World War III. Police were able to keep us safe and free. And free speech wasn't being trampled on like it is today. The reality is this. The Democrat Party of today is unrecognizable from past Democrat Party generations. That's why I'm voting for Donald Trump. Common sense policies, results in his first 3 years before the world went sideways during his 4th year. And if that makes me deplorable, if that makes me a Nazi, if that makes me a supporter of Hitler, or if that makes me garbage, then so be it. If it wasn't for COVID and the George Floyd debacle, Donald Trump is wrapping up his second term. But today, I'm voting for Donald Trump so he starts a second term, albeit 4 years late. And that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
Big Take brought to you by Budget Blinds. The holidays are coming. Budget Blinds, your one-stop shop for blinds, shades, shutters, custom drapery, and motorization. Visit budgetblinds.com for a free in-home consultation and the only no questions asked warranty in the business. Schedule your holiday consultation. Ask about their special radio offer. 855-839-1210 is how you jump in. Social media, that works as well. 1210 WPHT on Twitter and let it rip in the YouTube chat. Nick, Dawn, and Greg, we're back after this. Tell us what you're seeing, what you're experiencing as you're getting ready to vote today. It's Kayal and Company, Election Day, On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
You've heard me talk about Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding for years now, how much I love the work they've done in my home. And you know by now that if I needed windows, doors, siding, I would only trust the Chapman family team. But did you know that they also install shutters, a perfect complement to your new windows? So for the entire month of November, Chapman Windows, Doors, and Siding is giving away a pair of shutters when you purchase 2 pairs. So the right shutters can really enhance the curb appeal, obviously, of your home. Whether you or somebody you know are looking for windows, doors, siding, shutters, all of the hardware choices that go along with that, just give them a call. You can text them. They're listening. They're like-minded. They're local. 610-431-8898. Text or call 610-431-8898. You can always visit them online at chapmanwindowsdoors.com for all the details on that. Plus, take a virtual tour at chapmanwindowsdoors.com, and you can see all their before and after photos and get a sense of the work that they do. chapmanwindowsdoors.com. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
Oof, Sixers last night, even with Paul George back, still fell to the Phoenix Suns last night. Paul George only had 15 points, but Sixers 1-5 right now to start the season. Their worst since Joel Embiid has been a 76er. But the NBA is back in FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casinos, America's #1 sportsbook. They want you to catch all the action. You don't want to give up on your team, do you? Right now, FanDuel is giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you have to do is catch every tip-off and buzzer beater and place a $5 bet on any of the NBA games to get 3 months of NBA League Pass courtesy of FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/Greg to make every moment more of the season. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner, 1210 WPHT. 21 over, President PA. After 3-month free trial, the full price of a League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
The good and bad with home improvement projects. The good, you save $1 or $2. The bad.
Kevin, there's no hot water.
So you move on to the car.
Kevin, what's with the car?
Good news, you can recover from these.
Kevin!
Well, most all of them. But when it comes to your retirement, a mistake can be devastating.
Call Joe Yakovich at JML Financial Group. He's been helping folks prepare for retirement for over 30 years. That's why he's able to correct your do-it-yourself problems before they're problems.
Get your complimentary assessment of where you are now and look at some of the retirement boxes you haven't even thought of.
Kevin!
You can't YouTube your retirement. Call Joe Yakovich at 856-925-6674 or visit jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Are you working out, eating healthy, and doing all the right things and still struggling to lose weight? Don't get frustrated. Get answers. You could be having difficulty because of your metabolism. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach, revealing how your diet and lifestyle fit into the bigger picture of how your body burns carbs and fat, allowing you to develop a game plan and see results. Go to lumen.me right now for 30% off. With just one breath, Lumen offers insight into what's happening with your body and promotes optimal metabolic health for easier weight management, improved energy levels, and better fitness results. Go to lumen.me today and get 30% off. Plus, listeners can get an additional 15% off by using promo code RADIO55. That's promo code RADIO55 at lumen.me to get an additional 15% off your first purchase today. LUMEN.ME, promo code RADIO55.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Throughout this campaign, I've seen the best of America, and I've seen what is holding you back and weighing you down. High costs, fundamental rights being taken away, and politics that too often have driven division. Next January, one of us will be president. If it's Donald Trump, he's made clear he'll wake up every day and stew over his enemies list. That will help no one. If I am president, I'll be focused on my to-do list for you, the American people. I'll cut costs by cracking down on corporate price gouging, make housing more affordable, lower taxes for 100 million Americans, and protect Social Security. I'll focus on you and getting things done. And now I'm asking for your vote, because as president, I will get up every day and fight for the American people. Let's get to work. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out. I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything. Have you tried shopping jewelry television? JTV? I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles. Artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax? Yes. Another round? Yes.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price. Get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Gotta have a Wawa.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, Saturday, November 23rd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210. 1210. WPHT.
Harry, get your fat ass out of the couch. You're going to vote for Trump today, Harry.
That's right. 6:35, Tuesday morning. It is Election Day in America. Polls open in New Jersey. People waiting in line in Pennsylvania, just 25 minutes away from kickoff here in the Keystone State. We've got texts coming in. I've got Mark Fusetti says he's going to report in this morning around 8:30. Sergeant Mark. He'll give us an update at the end of the cut sheet, according to Mark. He's already altering the show sheet for me. Thank you, Mark.
I love it.
Hey, whatever you got to do, folks.
Yeah.
It's your show. We're just here to give you the ins and the outs of what's going on. We've also got reports in King of Prussia. Certain individuals are 20 deep in line in the Gulf Mills KOP area. So that's very nice.
20 deep at like 25 minutes out. Wow.
That's right.
Good.
Yes. And again, don't forget, programming tonight live at 7 o'clock. As soon as Zioli wraps up, we will have our election night primetime coverage. Myself, Dawn, Rich, Zioli, right out of the gate in the 7 o'clock hour. Appearances by Jimmy Fala, Mike Opelka, Matt Rooney, of course, Dom Giordano. Dom will be handling the back half of the coverage tonight from 9 o'clock until whenever the hell we decide to call it a night, right?
Exactly. Yeah, here's the thing with Dom Giordano. He is the king. I mean, even in working in television news, I will tell you that nobody's better than Dom. He has been covering elections. It's a skill set that few people have. Nobody does it better, from the local to the national. And I think if you care about this election, you want to listen. We'll have it all. And we will have, remember, Linda Kearns will be at election court. So we'll be checking in with her as well. So, just trying to navigate as far as anybody with an issue going on. We can help communicate that to the election court as they look at making sure that this election is transparent. There is election integrity.
I look forward to this. For many years when I was in the other format of Sports Talk, I was always asked to host like NFL draft night coverage. And there's nothing better than when you're broadcasting and you're covering an event. And I'm not talking about, play-by-play, but where things are transpiring. And Dawn, you always say things like, what's developing and what's breaking. And we're going to be on the air tonight. I've got my command center set up at home. The engineers spent hours getting me set up for this. So, I'm going to have, probably Fox on. I'll have 2 laptops up, social media, and we'll be, tracking everything. What percentage of precincts are reporting, what state has been called. We're going to give you all the details. And there's nothing better than reacting to something this big and this monumental live in real time. It's kind of like, being a reporter out there in the middle of conflict. I'm sure you've covered many things, whether it's with police, these national reporters that are in war scenes. It's a different level of adrenaline that kicks in, and it's not a scripted show in advance. So Kamala Harris could actually never do election night coverage because she would be fumbling over her own tongue for 4 hours, because you got to react and bob and weave and keep your head on a swivel all night long. So I'm looking forward to it tonight. I think Zioli's going to be technically out. He'll be out in Western Pennsylvania.
He's going to be at Dave McCormick headquarters. So he'll be with McCormick in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So, and then he'll continue on. We'll join him at 7 o'clock, right?
Yep.
And so, I think we've got it covered as far as locally. I mean, a lot of local elections. I'm sure that's what Mark Fazzetti is looking at. Locally, what does this mean? Are there any Republicans left in Philadelphia? I'm just curious, because we keep hearing that in Philadelphia there is this red wave that is trending through cities like Philadelphia, through blue cities. Is that true? Is that real? I can't wait to find that out.
855-839-1210 if you'd like to jump in. Let's start off. We've got a lot of people that want to weigh in, a couple of Mikes on the line. We'll start in Fort Dix with Mike. Mike, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Mike, you go ahead. Mike.
Oh, wait, hang on. Sorry, my fault.
Hey, Mike.
Open the mic.
Hello, Mike. Mike in Fort Dix once. Mike in Fort Dix twice. Mike in Fort Dix, try to give us a call back. All right, let's try Mike in Media. Mike, you're on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, thank you, guys. I listen to you every morning. I'm from Media, and I'm a MAGA guy. I've been putting signs out for a month all over Media, and they kept getting taken. So last night, I went out, I put 40 up. Riding around this morning, they're all gone. And, I don't know, man. I was going to take the high road. I took the high road. I was going to take hers down, but I didn't.
Well, I think technically it's against the law to take down anybody's election signs.
Crime.
That's correct, right? Especially if it's private property. You have no right to go on anybody's property and remove any sort of political messaging. We saw this a lot. We saw this a lot during the whole Middle East, Israel, Gaza conflict throughout many cities where people were putting up. Remember the printed out stuff that were on signs and telephone poles. The people that were kidnapped, and then you had these left wing agitators that were yanking things down, and then people were recording it on their phone and saying, "Why are you taking that down?" I never once in my life had the desire to take down somebody else's political message. Like, why does that bother people? Who cares, right? And it always seems to be the other way around, does it not? I never seem to hear left-wingers or Harris Walls supporters, and to be honest, I haven't seen it on social media either, where they are complaining about a Trump supporter. Remember the video we played for you like 2 weeks ago on the cut sheet, where that lady went up to the Ring doorbell cam and started chastising that middle-aged mom about voting for Trump, and she's like, he's the devil. How could you do that? Right? Remember that? You never see it the other way around. Why is that? 855-839-1210. All right, let's give some data here. I thought this was interesting. So Politico, with a story out yesterday with the headline, "This swing state saw some of the country's highest food inflation. Republicans hope that voters blame Democrats." And Politico's Marcia Brown wrote about the Philadelphia suburbs on how we have dealt with pretty much the highest grocery price increases over the last 4 years in the entire country. And she writes the following: "There are few places in America that have seen food prices spike as dramatically over the last 4 years as Philadelphia and its suburbs. The fallout could decide Democrats' fate in the critical swing state of Pennsylvania, according to interviews with more than 30 voters. The rising cost of living during President Joe Biden's time in office has put Democrats on the defensive nationwide. While food inflation has come down over the past year, prices remain 20% higher than they were in the 2020 presidential election. Nowhere is the issue more salient or potentially more consequential than in the Keystone State." She wrote the following: "According to analysis from the federal government, retail food prices in the Philly metro region surged by nearly 14% on average between 2021 and 2022, lower than only Detroit, Michigan, and Dallas, Texas. In 2023, food prices in the area continued to rise by one of the highest rates in the country, and a consumer affairs analysis found that Pennsylvania as a whole saw the highest grocery inflation in the country in 2023. And they spoke to many different voters here, over 30 individuals. And I just want to read you one of the quotes. And this is from a man named Rich, who is a registered independent. He says, quote, "I blame the president for rising food prices when talking about his groceries in a Philadelphia suburb ShopRite parking lot, who declined to give his last name. I used to be a Barack Obama voter. I am completely opposite now. They have changed me." They also go on to talk about all the battles that are being waged here within the state. Obviously, Casey McCormick, also up in the Lehigh Valley, where GOP challenger Ryan McKenzie is likewise bashing the Democratic rep Susan Wild on the issue, saying, quote, "People are not stupid. They know that inflation is driven by bad decisions that came out of Washington. High prices of food are driven by inflation. It's not hard to find out and figure this out, and it's not difficult for people to connect those dots." You know, I would like to think and by the way, how bad is the timing in my life? I come back to my hometown in a place where groceries are the highest they've ever been, and I'm working the first 2 years I was up here on a strict grocery budget because my wife and girls were still in Tennessee, and I feel even more vindicated and validated and justified for my grocery store stories on this show and my gripes about it because the data just backs up what I'm saying. Like, I would buy almost nothing, and it was like $118 a week for one person. And I was eating like a college kid, right? So I would like to think, Dawn Stensland, whether you're the man or the woman, the husband or the wife, if you are the person that does the budgeting for the family expenses, if you do the grocery shopping, if you say, well, we got to keep it under $250 this week, or family of four, we got to stay under $325 this week. I would like to think right here in the heart of Pennsylvania, if you are a one-issue voter, the cost of groceries should be at the top of your list, should it not? Because the last time I checked on, if you don't eat, you die.
Well, and I think to your point, it is something where you're at the grocery store once or twice a week. Most people with a family, that's what it is. You're at the grocery store a couple times a week. And so when especially the Biden-Harris campaigns, no matter when it was Biden or then Harris when she took over, they kept telling us, as well as the so-called mainstream lying media that, the economy is getting better. Everything's getting better. Everything's good. And so you knew it. Everybody knew and knows that's a lie because you feel it every time you go to the grocery store. And so then it makes you wonder, well, if they're lying about that or they're lecturing me and telling me which way to vote and that, none of the pain I'm feeling, whether it's pain at the pump, whether it's at the grocery store, whether it's my electricity bill, which is through the roof, an estimated 45% that we in Pennsylvania pay more, that sort of thing. And so I think at a very basic level, everybody felt like, okay, if they're lying about this and just telling me that I'm actually not paying more, which I know that I am, what else are they lying about? And so it's that old Bill Clinton, I feel your pain. It's like they don't feel our pain.
No.
No. It's pretty basic.
You're right. And Kamala Harris's solution to grocery stores and the cost of food is to crack down on price gouging when in reality, which is a total lie, because if you've ever read about the grocery store industry, they work on incredibly small margins. It's like 1.8%. It's minuscule. They're not. Now, do I think there are some companies out there, whether they're local mom and pop or corporations, that have gotten greedy and have said, well, you know what, we had to charge 20% more, but people kept buying it, so what the hell, let's keep it at 20% more or 22% or whatever it might be. Yeah, I do think that exists. But for the most part, I think these prices, yes, it's inflation, as Ryan McKenzie says, but it's also, I read this analysis, it really comes back to energy. And Trump had energy prices gas was as low as, now I don't know what state this was, but it was $1.87 a gallon. I'm guessing that's like a rural southern state. But I remember prices in the low twos for sure under Donald Trump for gas. I remember my heating and my air conditioning and my electricity and all of that being cheaper. And all of these products require energy. Energy to be made, energy to be packaged, energy to be shipped. That is a big reason why the prices for products are through the roof, because it's costing more and more to create and ship these things. So what's the solution? It's 3 words. Drill, baby, drill. We have to use more of our energy here and stop relying on these other countries. And I know the Biden-Harris campaign is saying we are using record levels of, domestic energy and domestic oil, blah, blah, blah. Well, then why are my prices not coming down, right? You can sit here and tell me the economy is actually in a good spot, but for the average everyday person, how can anybody believe that when groceries are, through the roof? I mean, think about home ownership right now. Think about I remember, Dawn, when I was, this would be 6 years ago. So I moved down to Nashville in 2018, and we were in the early stage of looking for a house. And, this is where, there was still some value in getting real estate in Nashville. It was booming. It was exploding. Prices were going up. But you could still get in and get a really nice. And I was looking at some of these houses. They were like 4 beds, 3 baths, 2,500 square feet, built in 2006, modern kitchen, the whole bit. And this is in some of the suburbs of Nashville. And it was like, $375,000. And that house at that time, if that was up here in Pennsylvania, was probably about $475,000, $500,000. And then the pandemic hits. And now I go back and I look at some of the real estate websites like Zillow and Realtor.com and stuff like that. Some of the houses that I know I was looking at and browsing in certain neighborhoods 6 years ago, that house that was $375,000, that thing is now like $595,000, right? So the cost of living with wage increases, they're not matching. Your boss is like, hey, here's a 1% raise. You've earned it. Okay. Well, if everything is 22% more to buy, I'm operating at a loss right here, right? So when those two don't match up, something's wrong. And what's the solution? Voting Kamala Harris out, because I don't think she has any answers. It's funny. I was watching Zioli on Fox. And he was commenting on one of the stories Axios wrote. And Axios has a story of how Kamala Harris is the no comment candidate. And this is a phenomenal hit piece against Kamala Harris. They say the no comment candidate Harris, how her strategy clouds how she would govern. And they go on to write the following. And I want people to think about this. And I know most of this audience is going to vote for Trump, but for the select few out there. So your hatred for Trump is so strong and so bad that you're going to vote for somebody that has no solution and no comment on anything. Axios writes, one thing is clear about Vice President Harris and her intent to stick to her old liberal views or govern with new centrist thinking. She doesn't want voters to know. They go on to write why it matters. Harris is the no comment candidate. Purposely and strategically, she has calculated that it is safer to be vague on policy matters than lampooned as a flip-flopper or left-winger. Harris and her staff have refused to detail her position on more than a dozen of her previous stances the past 3 months in response to questions by Axios. So it's not Jesse Waters from Fox News grilling her. It's Axios, very left-wing friendly. The response to those inquiries, no comment. I don't know about you, Dawn, but I could, if say what you want about Trump. If Trump had no comment and didn't want to tell you what his policies were, it would be difficult. It would be more difficult to vote for him because I want to know what I'm signing up for. I want to know what I'm voting for. I want to know what I'm purchasing. I've used the car example in the past. Would you ever buy a car from a car dealership if they didn't tell you the price of it, what the terms were, what the features of the vehicle were, and then all of a sudden, once you signed up for it, you were stuck with the bill and you realized, oh, this isn't what I wanted to purchase. How in God's names, how in the blue hell can anybody vote for Kamala Harris if she's not going to lay out any of her policy positions?
Yeah, I think that when you look at that, there's no contest. And I do think even though Trump and Republicans in general have pushed the issue of the open border and safety, security, the crime issue, I think that is up there. But, you had mentioned Ryan McKenzie, state representative here in Pennsylvania. I'll say this. I will be curious to see the coattails that Trump may or may not have. So somebody like McKenzie, who I've interviewed multiple times, not because he made headlines, but because I saw him, gaining a lot of traction, people talking about him here in Pennsylvania as somebody who has a business degree. Somebody who just has gone door to door in a grassroots campaign. He and his wife have a baby, young child. And you look at somebody like that in Pennsylvania's, serving now at a state level in the 187th legislative district as parts of Lehigh County, but somebody who's getting some national traction. And you think about that could he beat a Susan Wild type candidate because she's too far left and because she has just been obtuse when it comes to understanding the needs, the basic needs of Pennsylvanians. Mm-hmm. And I think that one is a harbinger of what's to come on this election day. I think that the McKenzie race, tells me what I need to know. Somebody who has served, on Department of Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry, has served on different oversight committees, financial service and banking subcommittees, that sort of thing. This is a financial expert who is adept at having these conversations, going door to door with people and saying, I can help fix this, put me in Congress.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of a race is one that maybe it's not sexy. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe it doesn't get the top of the ticket headlines.
No, you're right. It doesn't. Yep.
But I think that it gives me personally a lot of hope as somebody who, in a very grassroots, common sense way, I believe that Ryan McKenzie could win and be one of those sort of surprise elections that gets national coverage right here in Pennsylvania. And does that tell you how Pennsylvania is going to go?
855-839-1210. Let me grab Susan. She's in media. She is down at the Delaware County Courthouse to be a poll watcher today. Susan, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're well.
I'm inside the Delaware County Courthouse. We were told to be here at 6:15 to pick up certificates so that we could go in and be poll watchers. There's about 30-plus people here in line waiting. They're stalling. They're telling us, somebody will be here, somebody will be here. These were supposed to be ready by Saturday, and they weren't. So there's a lot of shenanigans going on here, too. Everybody's furious.
How long are the voting lines right now at that spot?
I'm not even in where the voting is. We're inside the courthouse just waiting for the Bureau of Elections to open to give us these certificates so we can go to our location.
And they open, voting starts in exactly 3.5 minutes, and you're not even in your proper position yet.
Correct. Correct.
What a disaster.
This is unbelievable.
Yep. Sadly expected. Susan, thank you very much. Keep up the good work.
All right, thanks.
You got it. There she is. Susan in Media, Pennsylvania, Delco. Nobody's ready to go. What's the old adage Stalker would say? We start at 6 a.m. We start at 7 a.m. with this, and people don't even have their proper stuff. What a disaster. 855-839-1210. Dawn will have some news to kick off hour number 2. And then also, Stalker will give us the final early voting turnout, courtesy of NBCnews.com. What do the figures look like now that we are in person on Election Day? And did those numbers change at all compared to yesterday? We'll find out. Back after this, hour 2 of Kayal and Company.
They call me the bubble wrap mom. I'm always concerned about safety and privacy. And it goes way beyond being just a protective parent, right? And so when it comes to keeping your searches private and out of those data profiles or the government and other legal requests, you need to use DuckDuckGo. So DuckDuckGo does not track you at all. That's regardless of what browsing mode that you're in. Every time you search on DuckDuckGo, it's as if you've never even been there before. And that's what I love about DuckDuckGo. Discovered them, as you may remember, I was talking about them years ago. But there's something new that I've subscribed to with DuckDuckGo, and it's called Privacy Pro. This is a 3-in-1 privacy subscription service that helps you protect your personal information from being exploited by those hackers, the scammers, the privacy invasive companies. Plus, it's from DuckDuckGo, and that's why I trust it. With Privacy Pro, that's the subscription, DuckDuckGo's VPN actually secures your Wi-Fi connection anytime, anywhere. Number 2, they have identity theft restoration. If your identity gets stolen, DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro helps you restore it. And then they do have that personal information removal, and that one's incredible as well. But as far as this goes, the VPN, for example, we had stayed in a hotel over the weekend, a couple weekends ago. And you know how they want you to go on their hotel Wi-Fi and maybe giving you a passcode. And you might say, oh, it's safe. But then when you look at it and it says, oh, not secure, connection not secure. Have you ever noticed that? Or maybe you're at a store. Maybe you're down the shore in the summer. It says not secure. You never have to worry about that with DuckDuckGo's VPN because it secures your Wi-Fi connection anytime, anywhere, whether you're visiting temporarily over the weekend, long term, and that's really what I love about it. Privacy Pro is going to help you remove your personal information also from any of those creepy sites so they cannot share it or sell it. Love it. So here's the deal. You get all this for $9.99 a month, $9.99 a month. And as my listener, just go to DuckDuckGo.com/1210. You get an exclusive 7-day free trial on me. After that, after the first 7 days, then you pay the $9.99 a month. So go to DuckDuckGo.com/1210, DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Tell Dawn sent you.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. Kamala and Joe raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald Trump, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Donald J. Trump for President 2024 Inc.
Hey there, Philly and South Jersey. Are you seeing price reduced signs popping up all over? Well, you can't blame it on the market, because if your home isn't priced right or staged to shine, it's going to sit and sit. You don't want that. Diane Cordano here, and I've been helping homeowners avoid those dreaded price cuts for over 30 years. I've got the tricks of the trade to make sure your home looks its best, sells fast, and for top dollar. How? Oh, it's all about smart pricing, staging, and creative marketing. A little investment and a solid pricing strategy can mean thousands more in your pocket. Yes, thousands. So before you slap a for sale sign on your lawn, call me to get your home sold in 2 days for thousands more by making your home irresistible to buyers. Call me now for a copy of my new book, Model Home Mindset. And let's get your home sold fast. Call 215-576-8666 or go to 215-576-8666.com.
Don't let cold season make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution for nasal congestion, Navage. Navage uses gentle suction to flush out your sinuses with refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all winter long. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at select Costco locations in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better fast. Check out Navage at your local Costco today. Navage, Navage, breathe easy.
Hey girl, it's your new night guy, Jimmy Fallon in the house from 7 to 10 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and free on the Odyssey app.
Mustard. That's right. Just wait. No matter how long that line is, just
we've
wait.
Got breaking news. Can Linda Kearns call in? They have 4 of their court-appointed election workers kicked out of polling places. Linda Kearns was just trying to call in, our great election integrity attorney.
I saw the bat line ringing.
So please, Linda, call in, give us this breaking news
Come on,
right
Jimmy
now.
Kelly, pick up the phone back there, man.
So she had just tried to call at just within the past less than 90 seconds. But apparently 4 of the court-appointed election workers kicked out of polling places
All right.
in our region. So that is concerning.
All right, well, let's get to some of that news. As soon as we get her on the line, we'll bring her in, and then, Dawn, you can feel free to chop it up with her with the details that she can provide. 7:05, by the way, too, also we'll get to some of these numbers. According to Democrat data expert Tom Bonnier of Target Smart, some of the early voter turnout in certain key election demographics, we'll give you those. Jimmy Kelly's going to have to pick up the phone, though. I don't know what he's doing back there.
Can we pick it up here? She's trying to call in.
I have no idea. Not sure how it works.
Would you like to produce the show today?
Ooh, a little snippy.
All right, well, let's get to the news. Round number 2 at 7:06. Dawn Stensland.
So we are sponsored in the news this morning as we do have breaking news, word that there are some alleged election shenanigans that are happening in the Philadelphia region. So we'll get to that momentarily as we hope that Jimmy Kelly picks up the phone and gets to it. But in the news this morning, there's a whole lot going on as we look at breaking news as Philadelphia police investigate what's going on this November 5th, Election Day. We do have a shooting that has happened, a 15-year-old injured and now recovering after that shooting near Temple University, North Philadelphia. So it happened yesterday afternoon, I will say, 4:30. So this was before sunset, 1700 block of North 12th Street. Temple officials sending out that alert to warn students in the area. And so concern, no doubt, as the shots rang out. Police say at the scene, they found that victim suffering from the gunshot wound to the arm. The teen transported to Temple University Hospital, where the 15-year-old is now in stable condition. As usual, we don't have weapons recovered. We don't have a motive. We don't have any arrests. We know from Philadelphia police working with Temple University police who are investigating this incident together. They say it does not appear any Temple students were involved in any way in this shooting. So the motive to this, and they're searching for the suspects. We don't have that information at all. And we do have as well road closures continuing this morning. So watch out for traffic delays or slowing down of traffic because of this after the Harris campaign's Election Eve rally there on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway, Center City, drawing thousands of attendees. Last night, lines were so long, we're told, getting into the event that some people were waiting all the way back by Logan Square. So Pennsylvania Senator Bob Casey, Philadelphia Mayor Sherelle Parker, kicking off that event, which was right outside the Philadelphia Museum of Art, obviously. But they were calling it a star-studded lineup. Will these celebrities help get out the vote? Which we're hearing some concern from Democrat operatives this morning that they are concerned about a lackluster, lack of passion, if you will, by Philadelphia voters. Will Lady Gaga help with that? Will Oprah? What about Jasmine Sullivan, Freeway and Just Blaze, DJ Cassidy, Fat Joe, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Ricky Martin? Will Ricky Martin and the Roots?
Ricky Martin.
I know. Will they help get out the vote?
I haven't heard that name in 25 years.
I don't know. They seem to think
She's living
will.
La Vida Loca.
Oh, maybe they should have had Linda Kern's Elvis, favorite Elvis tunes. I'm not so sure.
We do have Linda to go to right after your sponsor, so we'll get to her. She's on the line.
Good morning, Linda.
Linda, good morning. You're on Talk Radio 1210. Linda, go right ahead.
Good morning. I'm here in Philadelphia Election Court. I'm representing the Trump campaign and the RNC, and already 4 of our court-appointed minority inspectors, they're the election board workers at the polling places in Philadelphia, have been told by the Democrats in those divisions that they are not allowed to work, and they effectively kick them out. So we sent lawyers to the scene. We're trying to get them back in. I reported it to the district attorney office, and we are on it. You know, Larry Krasner made a big deal yesterday with his press conference, Mr. Tough Guy. Well, Mr. Tough Guy better get his DAs and law enforcement to make sure that the law is followed, because these are election crimes and we're not going to tolerate it. And this just shows to every single voter, we need every single vote. Everyone needs to go out there, because this is what the Dems will do to us. So we need turnout. We need turnout to make sure that we win this election.
So go ahead, Dawn. Go ahead.
Just Linda Kearns, I mean, you are an attorney. You're talking about court-appointed election workers. On what basis is somebody kicking them out?
because they don't want them in there. Dawn, there's always openings around election day because someone did not get elected to that position. We elect our election board workers every 4 years. There's always vacancies. There's always openings. The law allows us to appoint people to those positions. We did that a few weeks ago. We appointed 200 people to vacancies, 200 good Republicans to vacancies all throughout Philadelphia. And now the Democrats in those divisions have decided they don't want them to work, and they told them to get out. And I have lawyers on the scene right now, and we're working on it. But you know what, Dawn? Larry Krasner made a big show yesterday, a big press conference. This is an election law crime. This is a crime. So he better get on it, because he's not here just to protect the Democrats. He is here also to protect the Republicans. He's here to protect all voters and all election workers. This stuff happens every presidential election day in Philadelphia, and we are really tired of it. But we're ready, and we have our lawyers out there. And as soon as we get them back in, because that's what we're going to do, they are going to serve today. They are going to be poll workers today. So as soon as I get them back in, I'll text you and let you know, so you can announce to the audience.
Can we ask you, Linda, here on Kayal and Company News Live, can we ask you, I mean, is this a situation, since it's an election crime or alleged crime, have you called police or state police? Which law enforcement agency, or is it the Krasner so-called election task force?
I reported to the election task force. That's what I did. If they want to dispatch the police, they can, but they're the ones in charge. They set up this task force, so they better get cracking. Because when he did that press conference, it almost like he was talking about Republicans who were going to do something wrong. But you know what? It's the Democrats who are doing something wrong, and he better get on it after all his big words yesterday.
So, Linda, take us through this, radio, theater of the mind. I want you, to the best of your abilities, to paint the picture of what just transpired. Take us into those rooms where those people are kicked out. What does the setup look like? What is the dynamic of Dem versus Republican? How close are they? Give us, paint a picture and a visual to the actual setting for my audience.
These are the workers that sit at the table and check you in. I heard you talking about it, Nick, the little old lady at your precinct. These are the workers that check you in. There's a judge of elections, a majority inspector, and a minority inspector. That's their titles. There was openings for these minority inspectors, and we filed petitions to have about 200 people court appointed to these positions so that they could be in the polling place, help check people in, lead people to the machines, do all the things that poll workers do. And when our people showed up, 4 different divisions this morning, before the polls even opened, the Democrats in those divisions said, "We are not letting you in. We are not letting you work today." And that's even when they showed up with the court appointment signed by a judge.
Okay.
And so they told them to leave the polling places. They immediately called our hotline. We dispatched lawyers. I am here in election court if I need it, but this is a crime, and election court is a civil court. So we reported it to the district attorney's office, and we're working to get them back in, and we're not going to stop.
Yep.
Those workers are going to work in that division today.
Okay.
And it's a paid position by the county. I also reported it to the County Board of Elections, so hopefully they do something about it too, because this is a election interference. It's a crime. It's designed to discourage and demoralize Republicans, and we are not going to let it happen.
Take me, last one for me, and Dawn, if you have more, jump in. I just want to look at it on the national level. I've seen Laura Trump tweet out that they have 230,000 poll watchers and observers, and they have 500 attorneys on standby in all of the battleground states. You're an attorney. You're into election integrity. Do you feel like those numbers that Laura Trump has tweeted about, 230,000 and then 500, is that an adequate number to ensure that this whole thing is a free and fair election, in your opinion?
So what she was talking about was poll watchers or poll observers. What we did in Philadelphia, when we found vacancies, we actually appointed election board workers. And we also have poll watchers where we can't find where we couldn't find the workers. So we have coverage here in Pennsylvania, all over Philadelphia, and all over the Commonwealth. I mean, Nick, we could always use more, but we have really good coverage all over this Commonwealth. And I know from my meetings with all of my counterparts all across the states that they have similar operations. So we are ready. We have eyes and ears in all of these polling places.
Okay. Linda, we're hearing from people, especially in Delaware County at the courthouse there, that that there are delays and they feel there are shenanigans that have already begun.
Yep. I have people on that. They were late in printing out their poll watcher certificates, so the people had to go to the courthouse this morning. So I better get off the radio and get on that one.
All right.
But I wanted Philadelphia to know that we are fighting. I wanted Greater Pennsylvania to know that we are on this. We are fighting, and these are the tricks that Democrats do, and we cannot let it happen. And the way we don't let it happen is that we win this election. So we need every single vote.
Linda Kearns, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
So
there she is, Linda Kearns.
Speaking of, DA Krasner, the DA's office yesterday announcing that election task force officially activated. That's what Linda Kearns was referring to. And this is for the municipal primary election, which started 7 o'clock this morning for Pennsylvania this November 5th. So polling location complaints, any reported situations, infractions, violations of the Pennsylvania election code, which is what's being alleged across our region. It's important that you call, and I just want to give that number. So the website is pa.protectthevote.com, or you can call their hotline, 866-OUR-VOTE, O-U-R vote, and it's 686-9641. So if you are out there at your local precinct across the region, not just in Philadelphia, but even across the region, call this hotline number and you'll get through, or go to pa.protectthevote.com. But it's important that you call into us. I'll text Linda if you give us your exact location, because we want to make sure that this election, all of us should want that, right? That should be a common thing, right, Nick and Greg?
I think if Laura Trump's numbers are accurate, and that's why I wanted to pose that question to Linda. Remember, she jumped all over the situation in Bucks County with the lines being shut down hours too soon. Obviously, we had the one in Luzerne County that got sniffed out. So I know everybody's on high alert, anxiety, emotions running high, scared of what happened 4 years ago happening again, all of that. But when you have 230,000 poll watchers and observers and 500 lawyers, now look, nothing is ever absolute, but I really do believe that Whatley and Laura Trump have the adequate number of people to ensure that this thing is about as legit as it can be. Are things going to slip through the cracks? Of course. Nothing's absolute. Nothing's 100%. But I think they put those numbers out for a reason, and I do think that everything will be investigated and vetted. Some of it will be validated and confirmed. Other things will be misinformation, disinformation, people taking a video out of context or something that was a lie. And I think they'll get to the bottom of anything that is substantial and anything that is legitimate. So I have faith in that. And just be patient, right? This is going to take some time. You're not going to get everything right exactly as you want it, but I think you're in good hands this time around, as I think that group has done much, much better than Ronna McDaniel. 855-839-1210. If you want to jump in, we'll get to more of your calls. The cut sheet coming up 7:45, and then let's crunch some numbers. It's not the most exhilarating radio, but it's important. What do the early voting numbers that are now officially finalized look like? We'll get an update from Stocker, and then also, according to Target Smart, where the urban and female turnouts are down in the swing states, yet the rural turnout is up. We'll give you those numbers on the other side. Kayal and Company, we're back after this.
It's election day. All of us are working a long day here. So that's where, on a day like this, Whatacrock and Whatacrock.com really saves me to make sure that I have a family meal that's homemade, just not homemade by me. All I did early this morning, just put one of the Whatacrock meals into my slow cooker and go about my day today, a busy day. But when we all come home, and hopefully I'll get home this afternoon, but if not, my sons will have a homemade meal waiting for them, simmering, and the kitchen just smells so good. It's a savory chicken meal that I put in there early this morning. And there's no prep required, no chopping, no dicing. That's what I love. Clean up so quick and easy. It's as simple as dropping that meal into your slow cooker and voila, dinner is handled, one and done. So if you're looking for those fall comfort foods right now, whether it's one of the homemade beef chilies or maybe one of the delicious savory chicken, the barbecued chicken, or we love those chicken parm meatballs. They're huge meatballs. And then in the center, this soft, delicious, melted Parmesan cheese that tastes like homemade Parmesan cheese. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. But What a Crock meals also make for an excellent gift. So let's say you have a family member recovering from surgery or illness, new parents, college students, anybody who could just de-stress a little bit and have that home-cooked meal delivered. Make sure you use promo code WPHT at checkout. You get $10 off your first order. Whatacrock.com. So it's whatacrock.com, code WPHT. What a Crock dinner made easy. Order now. Whatacrock.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. One of the biggest, healthiest sales of the year is back again. Rescue Natural Supplements Black Friday sale is here. Right now, Rescue is slashing prices on every supplement with discounts up to an incredible 80% off. Rescue has a wide variety of products to address your health needs, including immunity and cholesterol support, heart health, and natural energy enhancers. Grab huge savings on omega-3s, probiotics, and a lot more. And one more thing, this Rescue Black Friday sale will run the entire month of November. So shop today at res-q.com, res-q.com, or call a Rescue product consultant at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Again, all Rescue supplements are up to 80% off during the entire month of November, so why wait? Shop massive savings on essential supplements right now at res-q.com. Do it today.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie. I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. He was in big trouble. We're going to take your house, garnish your pay. Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. I don't owe the IRS anymore. It was because of Optima Tax. Call Optima now for a free consultation. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Actual client compensated for sharing their experience. Visit OptimaTaxRelief.com for details.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-511-3535. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-511-3535. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-511-3535. 800-511-3535 or biglou.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Medicare is making important changes in 2025. Independence Blue Cross can help. Our Medicare Advantage plans include premiums as low as $0, dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. The deadline to enroll is December 7th. Visit ibxmedicare.com/radio. Independence Blue Cross offers PPO, HMO, POS, and HMO Medicare Advantage plans with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Independence Blue Cross PPO, HMO, POS, and HMO Medicare Advantage plans depends on contract renewal.
Rich Zioli this afternoon, 3 till 7. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
7:27, Election Day. It is Kayal and Company live on this Tuesday morning, November 5th. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us live on the free Odyssey app. Watch the show on YouTube. Don't forget tonight, Election Night in America, primetime coverage. We will be live, all of us, throughout the evening. As soon as Rich wraps up the Rich Zioli Show at 7 o'clock, we will begin our election coverage. Myself, Dawn Stensland, Rich Zioli in the first hour. Jimmy Fallon scheduled to appear. Mike Opelka will be joining us at some point throughout the night. Our boy Matt Rooney will be with us. And then Dom Giordano will anchor and lead the coverage from 9 o'clock into the late hours of tonight. So we will all be live. You'll be able to watch all of it on YouTube, so that'll be a very cool thing. I've got my, I had to basically grab my kitchen table. I'm going to swing the kitchen table into the living room and set up like a makeshift broadcast desk in front of my big screen TV. So hopefully the lighting is okay. If it's not, that's fine. I'm ugly anyway. You'll get my opinions, and we'll have fun. So we have all of that for you. All right, so let's get some numbers here. I've got some numbers to give out as well, but I do want to see what the final early voting numbers looked like. And I have the sheet from yesterday because I jotted it down as Stocker was reading them off. So we'll see if anything has changed. Early voter turnout. Now, if you recall yesterday, Republicans led the way in Georgia by 3, North Carolina by 1 point, Arizona by 9, Nevada by 4. And nationally, it was Democrats plus 2. But then in the Big Ten swing states of Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan, it was PA, the Dems up 24, Democrats up 8 in Wisconsin and 3 in Michigan. Let's see if anything has changed here, Greg Stocker.
So 79 million and change have cast mail-in or early in-person voting nationally. Right now it's still stuck at 41, 39, 20.
Okay.
Let's just look at gender. It's still 53, 44. Age still 39, 27. There's a slight uptick in the 40 to 49-year-old demo.
Gen Xers.
Yeah, but 39% 65 and over, 27% 50 to 64.
Okay.
All right, let's start with PA. Mm-hmm. PA, the mail-in numbers, it's like 1.8 right now, and it's 56-32 Democrats to Republicans and 11 and 11% other.
Okay, so that remains a 24-point margin, zero movement there, and zero movement nationally with Dems +2.
And is everything processed?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know if everything's processed.
Because that's one thing we were hearing yesterday was that there were the report was hundreds of thousands of mail-in ballots were not processed. That was something I know that the attorneys were looking at, but I just wonder, and I apologize, I don't have that info, and in fact, the attorneys didn't have it either.
By the way, Nick, I got a text from one of my friends who's in Northampton County, and they went to vote right at 7 o'clock and said 150 people deep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's like Bethlehem Township.
Well, that's amazing.
So.
That's half of Bethlehem Township's population.
I'm getting texts from friends all across, whether it's Pennsylvania, Delaware County, even in South Jersey. Everybody's saying that there are long lines or they have problems. I know in Mount Holly, South Jersey, in those areas, they have 3 different townships with machines that are down, printers that are down. So this is widespread. It's across not just Pennsylvania, but also South Jersey.
You know what's remarkable is that, they have one job, right?
I know.
Like, you ever see that segment they do on NFL Sunday Countdown? You had one job like a kicker. Your job is to kick the football and make the kick, right? And you can't do your one job. All right, but I dig.
Michigan, 3.2 million, which is a lot.
Okay.
Democrats and Republicans tied 44%.
Wow.
12.
All right. So all right. So there's so yesterday it was Dems +3.
Yep.
In Michigan. Now it's a tie.
Yep.
All right.
Wisconsin.
Yep.
Other 41%, Democrat 34%, Republican 25%.
All right, so Dems actually go up from +8 to +9 in Wisconsin.
1.6 million ballots.
Okay.
So I want to, because Iowa's in the news, I wanted to bring this up to you guys.
You were in the news?
Iowa was in the news.
I thought you said I was in the news.
Soccer's in the news.
Democrats and Republicans are tied in Iowa, 39%, 22% other.
Not good,
And that
Bob.
is a shocker.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Iowa?
If they're looking for... Iowa's always been red. It really hasn't. No, it hasn't. Iowa's like right there on the border with Wisconsin, so they kind of mirror each other sometimes.
Okay.
But if that's a trend of what's happening in Iowa, I don't know. Let's look at Georgia.
Yep.
Georgia is 48-45 Republicans.
That stays +3.
7% other, and that's 4 million ballots in. By the way, Georgia's at like 81% voted already. So these numbers, North Carolina as well, 4.4 million. 35% other is in the lead. Republicans at 33, Democrats at 32.
That remains +1. So you talk about the percentage of people in the state that are registered that have already voted in Carolina and Georgia. Folks, if you want an early outcome tonight and early results, you might get it, because if this goes in Trump's favor, if 81% of Georgia has already voted, if a massive amount of North Carolina has already voted, if Trump wins those 2 states, we're just waiting then for Pennsylvania. Because if it's checkmark Trump in Carolina and if it's checkmark Trump in Georgia, everything else is inconsequential, right? All he needs is Pennsylvania. Michigan doesn't matter. Wisconsin doesn't matter. Arizona, Nevada, none of that matters. So if you want the early result tonight, by maybe like 1 a.m, I'll be asleep regardless. But we'll talk about it at 6 a.m. There's your quick path to victory and results.
Can I say is Iowa, and I'm reading from the Des Moines Register, Greg.
Yeah.
Iowa, quote, has largely been written off as a red state, with both presidential candidates focusing their time in 7 battleground states. And so when you look at the past, what do you learn? The last 2 presidential elections went in favor of Trump in Iowa. He beat Hillary Clinton by 9 percentage points in 2016, defeated Biden in Iowa by 8 points in 2020. But Iowa, remember, back in the caucuses in 2008, launched Obama. And so it is interesting that right now, when you look at what Greg just reported, Iowa is interesting, especially after that I don't know, sort of strange poll that came out of Iowa yesterday showing Harris ahead.
Mm-hmm.
What can we learn? But then New Hampshire, they're saying on the other side of that is the poll going that people aren't talking about, New Hampshire going for Trump. So we're seeing some upside down land, kind of different stuff. What does it tell us? I just want to point that out.
You have some more numbers?
Well, let's go to New Hampshire. 37% Democrat, 33% Republicans, 30% other.
Okay.
Again, and there's 75,000 ballots.
Just out of curiosity, can you check Virginia?
Virginia.
I'm curious to what Virginia looks like.
50% Democrat, 38% Republican, 12% other. That's with 2.3 million.
All right, Democrats plus 12. Okay. Here's some numbers, and then I promise we'll take your calls. I don't want to inundate you with numbers on the radio. It's the worst thing you can ever do. Trust me, as a sports guy, I used to throw my head into a windshield every time I heard people reading box scores. So Target Smart and Democrat data expert Tom Bonnier, Bonier, apologies if I butchered that name, has some interesting trends when it comes to urban turnout, female turnout, and rural turnout. And he's posted these for all 7 of the swing states, but I just want to give you the 3 that matter most for Trump, again, that being North Carolina, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. In North Carolina, this is as of yesterday, November 4th, so the numbers might have changed a little bit since then, and certainly can here on Election Day. Urban turnout in North Carolina, compared to this point in 2020, is down 175,470 votes. The female turnout, compared to this point in 2020, is down 154,459 votes. Yet rural turnout, and keep in mind, rural North Carolina got hit hard by the weather, is up 26,911 votes compared to 2020. So that's Carolina. Let me give you Georgia. Urban turnout down 153,000 votes compared to 2020. Female turnout down 46,000 votes. Rural turnout up 171,000 votes. And then here in Pennsylvania, now they do not give rural, but they do give urban and female. Urban turnout down 381,000 compared to 2020. And female turnout is down 450,000. Unless they're all waiting for today, November 5th, that's interesting. And I bring up the urban turnout, obviously, because Kamala Harris, minority candidate, and also female turnout post Roe v. Wade, right? Like that is the albatross of Republicans in elections where, abortion has been on the ballot. I think they're like 0 for 10 or something like that. So these numbers are fascinating, and this is coming from a Democrat pollster, or not a pollster, a data expert from the company Target Smart. So I just wanted to share that.
So, Salt Queen asked for New Jersey, so I will give them New Jersey. It's only like 728,000 ballots, 730,000. 59% Democrat, 21% Republican, 20% other.
Yeah. Nope. I tried my best last Saturday.
What was Arizona? 42 Republican, 33 Democrat, 25 other.
Okay.
And what's the other swing state over there? Nevada? Did we do
Correct.
Nevada?
Yes, we did.
All right.
Yes. By the way, for just for the hell of it, since Trump went to Madison Square Garden, let's take a look at New York.
52, 25, 23.
Oh, I was told New York was in play.
There's only 3.3 million ballots cast, so that's not a huge. Because how many people are in New York?
12 million, something like that. Bunch of Phil Almquist Jet fans over there. All right, 855-839-1210. Let's grab some calls before we get to the cut sheet coming up next segment. Oh, boy, where do I want to go here? Let's go. Karen's been on for hold forever. Karen in Delco, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Karen, you go ahead.
Good morning.
Hey, Karen.
Hi. I was first in line, Springfield, and I was there by 6:35, and by time they opened the doors at 7 o'clock, there had to be 25 or 30 people in line behind me. I will say it seemed like the line went quickly.
Good.
They had a little trouble because I was first, and they had a new little computer kind of thing there to log in. But by the time I finished voting, it's not a long ballot. We have multiple choice, fill in the little dot. So, yeah, just to let you know, I thought, let me give you guys a call and tell you,
Right.
25 or 30 by 7 o'clock.
Okay, and you were in and out. So roughly by the time you went in and you got out to your car, what are we talking, 15, 20 minutes?
Oh, no. Well, I was first in line, so 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
All
yeah,
right.
it was fast.
Okay.
I've worked that poll, so I know the people and had to say, hi, how's everybody? You know? But I'm all in for Trump, and I'm hoping a lot of the people behind me were too.
Okay. Karen, thank you very much. We appreciate you chiming in. There she is, Karen from Delco. Smooth process for her. Let's try Wayne in Levittown. Levittown's been a popular spot for talk radio lately. Wayne, go right ahead.
That's where they had the issues on Friday.
Yes. Yeah. Wayne, what's happening?
Good morning. Trump 2024. There was about 1,000 people in line at the Levittown, Harry S. Truman, and on the one section that I was, for, there was already 100 people that they signed their names on, and there was 10 different sections. So, and then there was more people just keep coming. That place was mobbed. It took me 40 minutes to get in there and out.
Okay.
How would you compare that from last year?
Yeah.
Last presidential elections?
Every time I vote, it's never been like that. During COVID and even before that, I never seen it like that.
Very interesting. Wayne, thank you for the phone call. It's a small sample size, phone calls or tweets or videos or what you see on television. I said that I did not expect the total voter turnout to be what it was in 2020, in large part because I think Harris is going to be under the 81 million number. I think Trump is going to go above 74 million this time around. But I don't know, and I'm trying not to be prisoner of the moment for so many people that were saying election fatigue and the double hater. Sure, that changed.
That was, that changed when Biden got out of the race.
Right. So I'm now all of a sudden I'm thinking, maybe we could eclipse. So what was it, 81 and 74? That's 155 million. Could we see 160 million total this time around? Is it possible? We'll see. We'll obviously look at those numbers.
You think you originally thought maybe we would have less?
Less total combined, yes.
If it was Biden and Trump, yes.
Yes.
I think...
I thought Trump was going to go up and the Democrat nominee was going to go down, and the total would be less.
I think, to me personally, I think this was going to be an historic turnout, either with Biden or Harris.
I'm getting that sense now. Yeah.
I think that, and I believe that we have registered voters, longtime registered voters who haven't voted in years. And I think that part of this is, and I'm telling you, it's like a weird combination of these endorsements, bringing out different people who say, you know what, this time I'm going to vote, whether it's Dr. Rand Paul, who has activated people, whether it's Elon Musk.
Patrick Mahomes' mom last night in the press box had a MAGA hat on and was doing a video saying she was voting for Trump. The face of the NFL, the quarterback of the NFL, right. The top guy, Patrick, his mom's coming out there. Like, to your point, I do think this time around there are less closet Trump supporters that they're more willing to come out and say, you know what, it's the third time around, and don't judge me. Look at your candidate, right?
I believe the numbers we're going to see, and a lot of people coming out saying, you know what, Donald J. Trump told me to vote early. What did people do? They voted early. And that's why we saw those historic numbers, right? Now we see people, I think this is a referendum. It's not just a referendum on the current leadership at the top of the ticket. It's a referendum on all of it. The pandemic, the media, the shutdown, all of it. I think this is a huge...
How about Roe? Is there a referendum on Roe?
I will tell you, Greg, that I think that primary elections, or excuse me, off-season elections, if you will, are different than presidential years. And so I think that, no, I don't think that this is as much a referendum. We'll find out. But I don't think that this is as much a referendum on that, because that's old news. We've been dealing with that. And if you're smart, anybody who's smart understands that anybody at the top of the ticket as a president who claims they can do something about abortion, they're lying. Whether it's Trump or whether it's Harris or whether it's Biden, the honest to God's truth is it's a state's issue. Anybody who tries to do some referendum for publicity, it's going to get smacked down by SCOTUS. So if you're a smart person, if you're educated on what's going on, it is no longer a federal issue. It's at the states. That's the truth. And so I think a lot of people who are smart people know that. I think this is more of a referendum on what has been going on. And this dates back to not just the media, not just the shadow banning, not just J6, but the pandemic shutdowns and the mandates.
855-839-1210. If you want to jump in, we'll continue to weave your calls throughout the show. But on the other side, it's an Election Day edition of What's on the Cut Sheet. What was said last night as final statements were made by Donald Trump, by Kamala Harris, and other talking heads in the media. You'll find out coming up next. But first, a word from my friends at the Piazza Auto Group. We're talking about the Honda Prologue. It's Honda's first all-electric SUV with a range of almost 300 miles on a single charge and a fast charge time, by the way. You can cruise the roads worry-free. 3 charging options to choose from, including a portable charging kit for when you're on the go. And let's face it, in this day and age, we're always on the go, right? From work to picking up the kids to taking them to the extracurricular activities. But you can lease the Prologue today for as low as $279 per month. Think about that. In a world where we just got done talking about grocery prices and homes, you can still get an SUV that's, by the way, electric at $279 a month. Visit Piazza Honda in Philadelphia, Pottstown, Springfield, Reading, or Langhorne for details, and shop online. You can do it right now before the cut sheet. PiazzaHonda.com.
Listen this Saturday as Penn State battles Washington. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. on the home of Penn State football. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
They don't call her Confiscation Kamala for nothing. Don't take it from us.
And I support a mandatory buyback program.
A mandatory buyback program? That means the government forcing you to turn in your firearms. To what lengths would Kamala go? Well, she doesn't even support the individual right to own a firearm.
I'm prepared to take executive action and put in place a ban on the importation of assault weapons into our country.
We get it. Sometimes it's tough to understand what she's talking about. But on the Second Amendment and your rights, Confiscation Kamala has been crystal clear. Her gun control agenda comes straight from that petri dish of bad ideas that is California. She can claim to be a gun owner all she wants, but we all know she's the same anti-gun California radical she's always been. Don't be left defenseless. Defeat Confiscation Kamala. Vote Trump like your life depends on it, because it does. NRA Political Victory Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. NRAPVF.org.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows. And you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Here's retirement phase expert Phil Cannella with today's report.
Older Americans are grossly underestimating the likelihood of needing long-term care. Research groups have uncovered an unsettling trend in the United States as more and more baby boomers are retiring. Now, according to the longtermcare.gov website, Americans 65 and over have almost a 70% chance of needing some type of long-term care services. But a recent survey by Transamerica Center for Retirement Research shows that only about 12% of retirees have long-term care insurance. Women are more likely to need long-term care, and they'll need it for a longer period of time because of their life expectancy. A staggering 58% of women 65 and over will need care, and the average length of stay is about 3.7 years. For those that think Medicare will cover it, think again. Medicare pays for something known as skilled care. And that's only 3% of the time because of the requirement of receiving daily skilled care. 97% of the time, it'll be custodial care, helping eating, bathing, dressing, things of that nature. When saving and planning for retirement, there is a serious question you should be asking yourself if you don't opt for long-term care coverage. When you ultimately need long-term care, think of what assets you would liquidate first to pay for that bill. Having long-term care today is now affordable and not just paying for a traditional insurance policy with a premium. You now have the option of leveraging one of your assets. So if you don't use long-term care, you didn't lose it.
To hear more stories that will impact your financial future, join Phil Cannella and Joanne Small this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the Crash Proof Retirement Show, only on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Calling on Percy to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app.
Download it now.
loved him so, and turn around and let him go. Then he said, you better watch your step, or you're gonna get hurt yourself.
7:51, it's Kayal and Company. Tuesday, Election Day. The first polls in America, they close in exactly 10 hours, 9 minutes, and 25 seconds. But who's counting? 855-839-1210. That's how you jump in. We'll sprinkle in your calls as we navigate our way through the cut sheet. And speaking of that, let's get to it. Election Day edition. Greg Stocker, November 5th. What's on the cut sheet?
What's on the cut sheet?
What's on the cut sheet on this Tuesday? Sponsored by Cherry Hill Volvo. I don't have a script for Cherry Hill Volvo, but you know where they are. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. You know them. They are one of the longest and best sponsors on 1210 WPHT. We could not do that without Judith Krupnick and all of her support. We love Cherry Hill Volvo. Please check them out, or at least go in there and just say thank you for supporting 1210 WPHT all these years. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. Check them out on Route 70 in Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships matter. Okay, let's start with Philly, since Pennsylvania seems to be the big story today. Hat tip to Road Warrior for sending this to me. I always like to give credit. You know, we do requests here. So, you have any the cuts you would like played, send them to me.
Yeah, I get requests all day long via text.
Van Jones last night on CNN said that he's worried and nervous about Philadelphia because of the big margins. They need to run big margins in Philadelphia to win, meaning the Harris campaign. And if they don't, they're in trouble in Pennsylvania. Cut 11, Phil, go.
Philadelphia is where we've got to run up a big margin. But Philly overall has been trending down, not in terms of going toward the Republicans, just people not getting out to vote. And so you got people out there like Pastor Carl Day, who's got a bunch of young men with him, knocking on doors, trying to get people to come out. It's a bigger, tougher fight in Philly to get that vote count up than it has been in the past. That has me worried. The other thing that has me worried is that the Jewish vote in the suburban areas, Biden won the Jewish vote by 70%, 70-30 last time. Some polls show Kamala at 50-50. That is 70,000 votes we've bled away. That is the margin for victory. So you got groups like Zioness, Amanda Berman out there fighting to get the Jewish vote back on board. This is a tough
Trump campaign doing ads
and
to
the
try
Trump
to
campaign pushing the other direction. So this is it is door to door, bruised knuckles, tired legs, a lot of coffee, and I'm nervous and worried, and I'm not going to be any way until this thing gets called.
Okay, is there anything that is making you happy about Pennsylvania?
No, there's nothing making me happy about Pennsylvania. You got David Urban out there causing us trouble in the rural parts of the state. Get David Urban on this show and keep him here all day, and then I'll feel better.
Just don't let him leave.
I don't want him out there.
Same question to you. Is anything making you happy about Pennsylvania? Is everything making you nervous?
I just have to say, if only there's something that Kamala Harris could have done early in this campaign to help with the Jewish voters of Pennsylvania. Could it have been that the governor of Pennsylvania is a Jewish American who would have been, and a very popular one?
Just because if she picked Josh Shapiro doesn't mean every Jew is going to be voting for her.
I mean, it might have meant a whole bunch of Pennsylvanians voting for her. This could go down as the biggest.
Moving on.
I'm just saying. Anyway, I understand.
So I do think the Shapiro thing is, to some extent, a quantifiable miscalculation. How much? I have no idea. 1%, 5%, 10% more Jewish vote for the Democrat nominee, Kamala Harris. Democrat installed candidate, I should say. It would be wild if she does lose in Pennsylvania. And when you think about how much time both her and Joe have spent in Pennsylvania, I don't know if it's got to be over 30-some visits in the last 3.5 to 4 years. Now, I don't think the Jewish vote's going to go 50-50. I did see one poll that had Trump getting 2/3 support, so I don't believe that either. But if Trump can just be at 40%, Ronald Reagan set the record for Republican candidates with 40% of the Jewish vote. I forget what year. It might have been, I don't know if it was 80 or 84, but Reagan has it at 40%. If Trump can get to 40%, and I don't know that he can, but if he can, and then Kamala underperforms with urban voters in Philadelphia, right there's your recipe for disaster. That's why Van Jones has heartburn right now. No question.
Speaking of Philadelphia, they had the big rally last night in Philadelphia.
How many celebrities came to?
Oh, it was a lot.
Yeah.
Let's start out with Josh Shapiro. This is cut 14, Phil. He did his best Obama impression.
He's doing that again.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
Cut 14, this is on the Parkway last night. The closing rally. By the way, this video courtesy of PBS. I have to give him all credit. Cut 14, Phil, go.
And so tomorrow, let us come together.
See?
Can we pause that? Just stop that right there. Now, we know weird things can impact your ability to win an election or become a nominee, right? DeSantis was a weird guy. He was coached up. It was just odd. Now, we're in the weeds. Do you think the casual person is picking up on his Obama plagiarism? Or is that just something that the three of us are like?
If you listen to this program, you do.
I know. Yeah. But, is that something that works against Shapiro in the future if the common folk says, dude, are you trying to be Obama? Right?
How can you listen to that clip? And, Phil, I'm going to ask you to start it over again. But
yeah, sorry about that.
How can you listen to that clip and not say, this guy is trying to be Barack Obama?
Yes.
There's no question in my mind.
He's the white Jewish Obama. That's what he's trying to be.
All right, start it over, Phil.
And so tomorrow, let us come together to write this next chapter where we are more free, more tolerant, and where we are united in the cause of liberty and justice for all.
And the Lord said you got to rise up.
My fellow Pennsylvanians, my fellow Americans.
I'm telling you.
The task now falls to each of us. And together, let us make history and elect Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. May God bless you. Let's get to work, Philly. Let's make it happen.
And never forget, she snubbed me for Mr. Potato Head.
Wow. By the way, Phil, good work on this, because I wanted to pull this, but I wanted to give you time. Did you guys see last night in Reading, Pennsylvania? Kamala Harris went door to door herself.
I did see this, but I refused to comment because I didn't know if it was fake. It almost looks too fake to be true.
Phil, can you play this real fast? She goes up to the door. They knock.
Yep.
There's a boom mic and the thing so you can see it. This is obviously somebody's cell phone video. Was this broadcast?
Yep, there's a Harris voter right there.
I'm Kayal. This is my husband, Henry.
Henry's been emasculated. Poor guy.
It's the day before the election, but I just wanted to come by and say I hope to earn your vote, and I wanted to just thank you for just giving us
tarp with the leaves.
You got my vote already, because I'm going to be working the polls. You are one of the major.
Oh, so she already voted. So is this a non-scripted, staged?
Well, here's my question, Phil. Can you pause it for a second? Here's my question: is that wouldn't it be beneficial because they have the data? Yeah. The Harris campaign has the data. They know who's voted. They know who's not voted. They know if you're independent. They know if you're Republican. They know if you're Democrat. Wouldn't it behoove her to go to a non-supporter's house?
I would think it would behoove her to go to somebody that either is undecided or somebody that will still go cast their vote on election day.
For what would that look like though?
Yeah.
If she comes to somebody's house who says, "I'm not voting for you."
Yeah, you never want to do
that's
that.
Captured.
Could you imagine if she did that and the Trump supporter came out and
Oh, I don't know, guys. I think that if people are look, guys. Kamala Harris comes to somebody's door. Nobody's going, "I'm not voting for you," and nobody's doing that. When you're face to face with somebody, it's a lot different than when you're a tough keyboard warrior.
Yeah, but remember and that was a bad look, I thought, when she was in Delco at that CNN town hall.
Yeah.
And you had 32 plus maybe 33 people in a room, and less than half actually said that they would vote for her to her face. I mean, if you can't make that kind of, and she was like going up to people, shaking their hand, having a private conversation afterwards, and then they talked to them afterwards, and those people still said, and I think they were, to your point, being polite and said, "Oh, I'm still on the fence." Baloney.
Mm-hmm.
They were not on the fence. They just were being polite.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how devastating that is? If you're meeting just like 30 people in a room and you can't convince them in that small setting that you're the one or you have answers,
right.
Jeez.
Has this ever been done before?
I've never seen anything like it. That's why I thought it was fake. I didn't even think that was an authentic video.
Because it looks pathetic. It looks pathetic, you guys, doesn't it?
I don't know. I don't know what that accomplishes, right? Like, what is the? Yeah, well, I already did vote, but I'm what does she say? She's a poll watcher or something like that. Their strategy. They've had moments where I've sat there and I've said, "Boy, they missed the boat on that one."
I mean, it's kind of sweet, I guess, that the lady obviously voted. The couple voted for her. The lady's excited and hugs her, and I guess that's sweet. But it's kind of also, I don't know. It just seemed like, ooh, it's a little pathetic.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah.
Do you feel that or no?
Yeah, no, it's just, on the eve of an election, I don't know really what the end game result, like what are you trying to achieve there?
Because usually you want excitement and momentum.
Or stage the whole thing. Everything else about her is scripted. Have that lady walk out, because we don't know who that lady is. We don't know where that's from. We don't know her official voting status as to whether. Have her come out and be like, "Oh, I was a little on the fence, but oh my God, you're here in person. You know what? On second thought, oh yeah, right? Like you sell it like it's a production." It's a bizarre campaign.
It is, but
bizarre because they don't talk about policy.
If you listen to the numbers that Greg gave out as of this moment, it's going to be a long election day. But if you listen to the numbers that Greg gave out as of this moment, just remember, as of this moment, the vice president, she's on track, it would seem, to potentially become the next president of the United States of America. The numbers benefit her if all the Democrats vote.
And also, when you talk about what the potential outcomes are, who wins, who loses, what the Electoral College looks like, what those two numbers are in victory and defeat, what the popular vote looks like, this is not going to be an election that we sit there and we say, "Wow, I didn't see that coming," right? Like, if Kamala Harris wins, it's because of X, Y, or Z. If Donald Trump wins, it's because of X, Y, or Z. How do we know that? Because we've talked about it for almost a year and a half straight since the primaries began, since way back when people were launching their campaigns in the spring of 2023. We've laid out the policy successes. We've laid out the policy failures. We've talked about all the issues from economy to immigration to war to Trump derangement. We've talked about all the qualitative and the quantitative. We've talked about the measurables, the stuff that you can't measure. So there should be no result short of a true landslide. Like if either one of what was the number that McCain got in? What did he get? 173
or something?
Right. short of some electoral college number like that, nothing should really shock anybody, in my opinion.
I'm getting all kinds of texts from friends. One friend, this is South Jersey, says 22 years, and she's never seen anything like it, that she blocked out 3 hours to vote and then 3 hours to take her mom to vote, but is showing long lines outside polling places. This is across New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I would just say...
Voting by mail is so easy. Why did I...
Yeah, more people have to... By the way, Linda Kern said they were successful with just the update that they've got 3 of those court-appointed election workers. 3 of them are back in, and they're still working on the 4th. And so please, Linda Kern's, just saying, please keep these updates coming so that the attorneys can make sure. Because here's the thing, let's just say that Greg's numbers were, which look at those numbers that Greg Stocker gave earlier, and so if you listen to those, you have by far Democrats outnumbering Republicans. The independent vote, of course, in play, but think about the impact on this. That if you have all these shenanigans starting early this morning and continuing throughout the day, then it causes more people, no matter what that result is, to feel, that it was stolen or to feel a certain way. So why not everybody come together and make sure that this election process is trustworthy, it's transparent, right? That we're full of integrity so that people, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 3 or 4 days from now, whatever that result looks like, that people can trust it.
They said we will have Pennsylvania's results by tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, by Wednesday night. Yeah, that's
which is tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. Great. So we'll just, and then we'll have to wait for Arizona, right?
Well,
Maricopa County.
Because of that slapnut county.
Yeah.
10 to 13 days. I can't see that. I can't really see it being 10 to 13 days. But just the fact that they even said that a few weeks ago has my blood boiling.
You know what? I have this funny feeling it's not going to matter.
Well, you're right. It doesn't. If he takes Georgia, Carolina, and Pennsylvania, we know by tomorrow night.
Yeah. Past his prologue, if Trump gets early on, gets all of these swing states, then we know from the past, we know what happens. That as those swing states go, they all go for whatever reason. It's kind of kooky, but I'm just saying, if past his prologue and Trump is taking these swing states, he wins the presidency.
And if we don't know Pennsylvania until tomorrow night, you know what that means, folks. No big take tomorrow at 6:15. We're just gonna talk about everything that we know and everything that we don't know. We're just gonna shoot the breeze and riff on all this stuff and try to make sense of what the hell we watched tonight.
Just remember, if you're in line before 8 p.m., that they must allow you to vote, and that's important because we may see long lines. So just remember, as long as you're in line.
Take some snacks. Take some water, okay?
Yeah.
For the coffee crowd that loves to just slug coffee and not hydrate. Probably not a good idea to drink 80 ounces of coffee, not eat, and not have water, because eventually you're just going to shrivel up and collapse. I've been there.
What do you do if you're in line for like an hour or two and then you have to use the restroom?
You just go. And I'm not saying leave the line. You just go. Just like Lloyd told Harry and Dumb and Dumber. Just go, Lloyd.
Where those old June Allison depends.
That's right. Soil yourself.
So does anybody have a total of how many people were on the Parkway last night?
I'm seeing thousands. I'm seeing record. I don't see a body count.
Jimmy Matthews says 100,000. Is that true?
There are some people saying that. I don't have enough. Usually the police are the ones, law enforcement, because they have a way of counting. And sometimes they have drones, but for some reason, I'm not seeing the number.
All right, let's go to...
I'll look for it.
Let's cut 15 here, Phil. One of the opening acts for Lady Gaga, because it was actually a Lady Gaga concert. Was Ricky Martin.
The Kamala concert series continues.
Are you guys ready for a little 2000? 1999?
She bangs.
I don't know which. All right, go, Phil.
She's living la vida loca. Oh, God.
Everybody.
Here we go.
Nobody's singing.
No.
Oofa. All right.
Good Lord Almighty. Was Enrique Iglesias unavailable? Hey, we went low energy Ricky Martin.
All right, so maybe Ricky Martin was not your cup of tea.
No.
But how about this one? Cut 16, Phil, go. By the way, thank you from PBS for providing this audio. Was Bruce not available?
I guess not. They went Bon Jovi.
So
said you gotta hold on.
Working for a man, she brings home a faithful love. For love. They say we gotta hold on to what we got. Doesn't make a difference if we
You voted or not.
got each other. That's a lot for love. Give it a shot.
Can you imagine waiting outside there in the cold?
Yeah.
Take my hand.
I don't know, from the video.
So low energy.
From the video.
Nobody looks like they even care.
No, I'm just looking at, like, totals. Like, I don't know.
Is he even there in person, or is he just on a digital billboard there? By the way, when did
wait. Nick, that's a really good point.
I don't see him physically. I just see him on two like jumbotrons, right? Was he physically there, or is he performing that elsewhere?
That is a great point. I do not see if he was there or not in the video.
They were saying that the Harris campaign was holding these simultaneous Vote for Freedom rallies.
Oh, okay.
Atlanta to Vegas, Milwaukee, and then live streams from the other cities were being simulcast at all of these events.
Gotcha.
And when did Bon Jovi morph into Ellen DeGeneres? What's up with that look?
All right, then Lady Gaga came out and did God Bless America. Cut 17. She was there.
Through the night, from above, from the mountains to the prairie.
A costumeless Gaga, by the way.
Oceans, wide with
I mean, she has great pipes.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad for the patriotism.
Good rendition.
Yeah.
Certainly better than Bon Jovi.
And then for all the Gen Xers out there, Oprah came out.
Ah, jeez. By the way, did she say that if Trump wins,
what your country can do for you?
Oh, sorry.
Ask what you can do.
Sorry.
By the way, I was going to ask, did she? And maybe she's going to say it here. So I hate to steal the thunder of the clip. Did she say that if Trump wins, your voting rights will be gone in the future?
I didn't watch the entire thing.
Okay.
I watched it literally at 5:30 this
All
morning.
right.
So
I'm just wondering. I've heard people saying that.
Better things to do with my life last night.
If we have that clip, or if Phil or Jimmy or anybody can find it, I'd like to hear that, because I can't believe that. Well, I guess I could believe it, but Trump's Hitler apparently.
Let's play a little bit of this.
All right.
Phil, go.
He said, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." Well, I'm here to tell you that what you can do for your country, what you can do for democracy here, and what you can do for the spirit of John Lewis and all the others who dared to walk across that bridge in Selma and fight for justice for us all. What you can do for every pregnant young woman who has died because she was not eligible to receive the emergency medical care she desperately needed because of an abortion ban. What you can do for yourself and what you can do for everyone and everything you cherish is vote. And if you are watching or hearing me right now and you haven't already, you have got to vote. And listen, I know that some of you are feeling burnt out and bruised and maybe inconsequential. Nothing could be further from the truth. Every single vote, every one is going to matter. That's why I've come to Philadelphia tonight. And yesterday, I was all the way across the country, and I was hiking on a Sunday afternoon, and I met a woman named Angela, who told me...
Oh, here we go.
Zero chance she was hiking.
Some lie.
Yeah.
Some lie.
Yeah, enough of her. Enough of her. Yeah, they couldn't get Oprah. They couldn't get Michelle, so they settled on Kamala. This is another one of these absurdities. By the way, too, the way she frames that, you're beaten down, you're battered, you're bruised. It's like, wait, are you trying to imply that we're wrapping up the first term or the fourth year of Trump? Because if you're beaten down, battered, and bruised, it's because of the last 4 years under Joe and Kamala. They really have tried to make this turning the page concept like Trump's the incumbent and she's the agent of change. She's not the agent of change. She's a continuation of the last 4 years, and it could actually be worse.
And then Kamala Harris took the stage after 2+ hours.
It's interesting that when you're the candidate, you're like the fourth on the totem pole as far as being the headliner. Isn't that interesting?
All right, play Kamala.
Oh, it's good to be back in the city of brotherly love, where the foundation of our democracy was forged. And here at these famous steps, a tribute to those who start as the underdog and climb to victory.
She's not the underdog,
So
she's the
America,
incumbent.
it comes down to this. One more day, just one more day in the most consequential election of our lifetime, and the momentum is on our side.
The Big Mo.
Our campaign has tapped into the ambitions and the aspirations and the dreams of the American people. We are optimistic and we are excited about what we can do together. And we know it is time for a new generation of leadership in America.
Dawn, do you think I know you mentioned that right there. Do you
New
think
generation of leadership?
Do you think the underdog card is selling for her? I don't. Even if you are in theory the underdog, according to a poll or a betting market, do you really want to play that underdog card up publicly? Maybe behind closed doors, but I don't even know that works as a tactic to get people galvanized.
Look at the crowd. Do you feel that this? I mean, I would love to hear from somebody who was there, because it is, like Jimmy Matthews said, it's a huge crowd. They did a great job with security. I just want to point that out, because it's Philadelphia. I was looking for any reports of any problems. Beautiful job. I was worried about Philadelphia events, right? Great security. Everybody was safe. It was, by the look of it, a lovely event that was pulled off in the city of Philadelphia. And if I'm Mayor Sherelle Parker this morning, I'm feeling good about that it was a good look for Philadelphia on that national stage. And so I would say, quite frankly, Philadelphia and the look of it is the bigger winner, because if you look at that crowd, I just don't get the feel of this swell of energy or passion or momentum.
On that note, I also wonder how many people of whatever that attendance was, 80,000, 100,000, 14 people. I wonder how many of them are specifically there for, quote, the free concert, right? I mean, we work in radio. People love free things. I like free things. Anytime we get free swag, I scoop it up.
Well, I mean, Lady Gaga only performed the God Bless America.
I know. But
and John Bon Jovi performed one song. Not even there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But we also have people that just love celebrities, right? And it's just, you talk about the energy being low. How many of those people, and again, I don't think rallies or crowd size really matters one way or the other for an election result, but how many of those people would show up if it was just Kamala, Shapiro, and Sherelle, right? Like if you didn't bring Obama, if you didn't bring Oprah, if you didn't bring Michelle, if you didn't bring the A-listers, right?
Yeah.
Like, because all those people there, and it's just, even though there might be 100,000 people, I've heard 100,000 crowds much more raucous than that.
Raucous.
I simply think it comes down to the fact that they have okay, not that I believe in those things, but I, right here, could have stood in front of that crowd and written a speech for her that was a winning closing argument.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Talking about men in power, talking about your body and having control over that, talking about getting played, talking about women's reproductive rights. In other words, it's medication, seeing it that, like, I could write something that is a better closing argument about things that I don't believe in.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But just off the top of my head,
Yeah, from a strategy
to fire
standpoint.
up that crowd,
Sure.
to fire them up and say, this is why you need to get, and not just you, but you need to talk to your neighbors, your friends, your mom, your whatever, and get these people. She doesn't do it.
No.
She doesn't close the deal or incite people to vote.
I think, yeah.
Why?
I
And
think
how
the difference.
could that be?
The difference is, I think Trump voters love Trump. Harris voters hate Trump.
No,
I don't think there's a love for Kamala Harris.
But I'm going to disagree with you, Nick, and that is this: that that's just it. It's not about Trump. It's not about Trump. It's about a quality of life. That's what it's about. It's a quality of life, and it's something that has been taken away from us, small business people. And this all started, again, it's not just a referendum, in my humble opinion, about the Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It's about Democrats, even statewide and locally here in Pennsylvania. And I think we have to put that in perspective, because Democrats might say, well, how come? How come there's, when Van Jones says, what's going on in Philadelphia? Why are they not excited? Well, let's think about everybody who's really pissed off at the fact that they closed our schools. They banned our children. Yes. They banned our children from schools. And guess what? Philadelphia kids, and that's when you realized how much it sucked. Because they didn't have devices. They didn't have freaking Wi-Fi. Parents were standing in line. Now kids have a mental health crisis. Then the kids are medicated. Then you wonder why they're being recruited by a gang because they were on medication. Then they go off the medication. I mean, it's a hot mess. People are furious. Then their grandparents dying in the nursing homes. Who did that? Democrats did it. And so this is all part of this. And you talk about women and mothers and grandmothers. And so for the Democrats right now to try to look at this and wrap their brain around, well, why isn't she exciting Democrats? That's why.
I agree with everything you just said. Rack that take by Dawn.
Boom.
That in the best of.
But she can't sell it. It's like she can't even, I don't know.
No, they're putting all their eggs in the basket on Trump's Hitler. He's a threat to democracy and female reproductive rights. That's their campaign. That's their campaign in a nutshell.
But she doesn't say things that are just in a plain way what she believes in. When you ask somebody who is a Democrat, well, what is it about Kamala Harris that you like or that she believes in? They can't really tell you what she believes in. So if they're voting as a registered Democrat, it's because that's who they are. That's right. That's their identity.
It's about
It's
about the ideology and the team as opposed to the candidate.
Well, David Axelrod would disagree with you.
Point in that poll that Dave Wasserman over at Cook tweeted out today, and that was voter interest. There was a big gap between the interest that women expressed in the top boxes, the 10, 9, and men, and that's very uncommon over the years that they've asked that question. And it does raise the question whether women generally vote, 52% of the electorate is generally female. Could that expand a little bit, even a point or two, that that would make a huge difference in this race? Because my belief is that in my simple mind, I'm going to look at these polls and say, are is the gap that she is enjoying among women greater than the gap or even to the gap that he is enjoying among men? And if that is the case in these individual states, she will win those states.
There's David Axelrod. Let me ask you this, because we haven't really talked about this hardly at all on this show. I mean, we're talking about 8 years ago. Americans rejected Hillary Clinton. Here we are now in 2024. Trump's up against another female candidate. You can give me the electorate being 52% female to 48% male. But at the end of the day, whether people like it or not, and I am totally fine with a female president, just not her. I would prefer to be on the Republican side of the aisle one day. But I've also said on this show that I do believe we will have a female president before we ever have a third-party president. I don't think I'll see a third-party president in my lifetime, because my lifetime's going to expire in about 21 years. But I mean, let's talk about the uncomfortable subject for females. There's a lot of men out there that do not believe a female is qualified or strong enough to be the president of the United States of America. So, I mean, you
You think there's a lot?
I absolutely do. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. And again, that's not my personal belief. If there's a female out there that's a kick-ass, it's just not Kamala. That much I can tell you, right? And I've been on the record of saying it's a good thing Michelle Obama is not running, because if Michelle Obama was the candidate today, I'm telling you, she beats Donald Trump. And I think she overrides what I just said, so I don't want to contradict myself. I think she would become the president. But I think they look at Kamala and they see weakness on the global stage. And I think that matters, because I do believe China and Iran and North Korea and the Gaza, everything that we're seeing globally, this does not happen under Trump. And how do we know that? Because we witnessed it. We saw it, right? Media loses their mind. Oh, he's stroking Putin. He said Xi's a smart man. He's on top of his game. He's yucking it up with Kim Jong-un. I don't care who he yucked it up with or who he praised. He prevented war. It's called stroking egos. Sometimes you have to do that, right? Trump's good at that. I think these global leaders will continue to steamroll this administration. And if she gets in, they will run roughshod, because they don't fear her and they don't fear America. So I do think that factors in. I really do. And I don't know if that's a sexist view, but I think there are men out there that will sit there and say, I cannot vote for a female because I don't believe she's strong enough.
I'll just say this, that I personally believe it comes down to the brand. So this particular vice president has not been elevated by Democrats, by the Biden administration. So they did call her the border czar. I mean, they did, and the media used that for a time and put her in charge of that. But I think the mistake of Democrats was that they should have elevated the vice president's brand much earlier, because they knew they had an aging president and they wanted to pass the baton. And so that was a huge tactical error. And I know they don't usually do that, but I will say Republicans can learn from that. And so in this case, if Trump gets in there, and I believe that he will, I think that he is somebody at the age of 78 years old, that they need to think about that and whether it's putting forth the so-called Avengers, all of those 40-something-year-olds or pushing 50-something-year-olds, and putting them front and center to then start showing off that new generation of Republicans. I think that would behoove them. But I think in this case, Democrats were not wise to do that. I think Joe Biden, obviously it's not something they usually do. Yeah. Because they have huge egos.
Well,
and they don't want to,
midway through his first term, they were trying to replace her on the ticket. Mm-hmm. They thought she was a drain on the party.
And why is that?
So you don't elevate and promote, right? And you don't promote a brand when you're trying to replace that individual, right? Because she didn't have a brand. And by the way, too, and this is not just Republicans saying that my claim that some men will not vote for a female regardless. It's not just Republican. I actually think there's male Democrats out there that would not vote for a female for the reasons I just said, too. And then you talk about these brands. And here's the thing. We talk about brands and strength. Kamala Harris, remember with Bill Whitaker, or maybe it was Scott Pelley. It was one of the two on 60 Minutes about the global escalation of war. And he propped up Kamala and said, what is your response to whatever the conflict was? And she said, don't. And the reporter was like, oh, just like Joe? That's right, just like Joe. Don't. Now, do you think any of these global leaders see somebody say, don't, and they're going to, like if I look at my dog and I leave a slice of pizza on the table and I say, Ace, don't, do you think he's going to listen to me? No, probably not. He's going to swipe that slice as soon as I go to the bathroom.
If you train Ace properly,
He's well
you won't.
trained. It's not Ace's fault. By the way,
he's a pain in the ass.
The Democrats' ace, the president, he is still the president, Joe Biden. The headline this morning, he's going to watch the results from the White House residence as he faces a quiet end to the campaign. And so you do wonder I would love to be a, bug on the wall as the president says, as he watches this come in, because I still think that we're going to hear at some point within the next 6 months, Joe Biden say, I could have won this.
We've heard some stories this morning of people, of some issues at some voting booths here. The Philadelphia District Attorney, Larry Krasner, yesterday issued a stern warning to anybody trying to intimidate voters. This is cut 10. Phil, go.
Any deep, abiding fears or concerns. We don't have any reports. I want people to be reassured that when they get up tomorrow to go vote, if they have not voted already, that everybody in the city is working and has been working for months to make sure that there will be nothing tough about that experience and nothing to fear in that experience. But I also want to be clear, anybody who thinks it's time to play militia, F around and find out. Anybody who thinks it's time to insult, to deride, to mistreat, to threaten people, F around and find out. We do have the cuffs, we do have the jail cells, we do have the Philly juries, and we have the state prisons. So if you're going to try to turn an election into some form of coercion, if you're going to try to bully people, bully votes or voters, you're going to try to erase votes, you're going to try any of that nonsense.
Yeah, Democrats.
We're not playing. F around and find out.
FAFO.
It's funny he has the balls to do this for
you know,
this.
yeah.
But with crime,
Yeah.
it's like, well, let's get to the root cause.
Yeah.
It's a cultural issue.
Yeah, Larry, when are you going to sit here
dummy.
and say that to all the career criminals? And why do you have those jails?
God, I hate
Why do you have those handcuffs? Oh, because you're not using them currently because you don't prosecute crime. This is a 63-year-old with no testicles, okay? Larry Krasner has no cojones, no nuts. He might as well be a criminal defense lawyer, right? And at 63 years old, now all of a sudden he wants to be podium tough guy, right? And use things like F around and find out.
Yeah.
Like, leave that for the 23-year-olds or the 33-year-olds, Pops, all right? just shut it down.
I can't take this guy. This guy who has been a scourge to our lovely city for years now. All of a sudden, it's
Reelected.
tough. It's tough.
They keep voting for him.
It's tough on this. This is what he's tough on.
I have no idea how
Drive-by
anybody
damn
can vote for that guy.
shootings all over the city, and this is what he's tough on.
Yeah.
F you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Voting and elections, they have consequences. So, yeah, that's why, you know what? Honestly, I don't feel bad. I really don't. You know what? I don't have to live here, right? I live on the outskirts. I live in Bluebell. I don't deal with it. I don't vote for it. And you continue to vote for it. You, the people of Philadelphia, not this audience specifically, obviously, but you as a lifelong Philadelphian or a Democrat, you keep voting for this guy. You keep him in office. You deserve what you get. And I don't feel bad for you.
Yesterday, Joe Rogan endorsed Donald Trump to the surprise of nobody. Trump talked about this on at one of his rallies. I think this was in Pittsburgh last night when he got the breaking news that Joe Rogan had endorsed him. This is cut 12. Phil, go.
I have some more big news, Megan. I'm just getting this right now. So somebody that's very, very respected asked me to do his show 2 weeks ago, and I said, why not? And to me, it's very big because he's the biggest there is, I guess, in that world by far. Somebody said the biggest beyond anybody in a long time. and his name is Joe Rogan, and he's never done this before. And it just came over the wires that Joe Rogan just endorsed me. Is that right? Thank you, Joe.
I mean, he has done it before. He endorsed Bernie
That's
Sanders.
so nice.
Oh, was he a Bernie guy?
Yeah.
And he doesn't do that. He doesn't do that, so. And he tends to be a little bit more liberal than some of the people in this room. No, I had a lot of fun, and he was amazing, and it was a 3-hour interview. In fact, I was 2 hours late for a rally that we had. I had explained that a little bit, and it was cold out that night. We flew, but we had to make it. We were more than 2 hours late, and they understood. I said, I just was interviewed by a very interesting guy, and he just kept going on. They called it a long form, and it could have gone a lot longer, but he was great. And he's not a person that does endorsements, but he did an endorsement. So I just want to thank Joe Rogan. That's fantastic.
All right, so a couple of things here on the endorsement factor. I don't think endorsements generally work, and I also think the more past your prime you are in regards to where you used to be in the pop culture spectrum, it carries even less weight. So just to point it out on both sides, I don't think Bruce Springsteen is going to work. I don't think Michael Keaton is going to work for the Democrats. I also don't think Hulk Hogan and Kid Rock work for Donald Trump. But if endorsements are worth anything, if you're at the top of your game in your said profession, in the limelight currently, then I would say, all right, maybe Taylor Swift, a little bit of an impact. Maybe Joe Rogan, a little bit of an impact. But by and large, I think they don't work. Although I disagree with Stocker. Could I have seen Rogan voting for Trump? Yes. But in the light of what has played out with the invitation for the Joe Rogan experience, Trump went on, Vance went on, hell, John Fetterman went on. Kamala did not. I think in a way, and remember, she was trying to strong arm Rogan. We're going to do an hour. We're going to do this. This might be off limits. And Rogan's like, no, nothing's off limits. And if it happens to be 3 hours, that's, it's not like Trump agreed to do 3 hours. That's just how long it went, right? I think this is Rogan sticking it to Kamala. I know, Stocker, you disagree, but I think this is a last minute of, because let's face it, if you're Joe Rogan, do you have an ego? She doesn't want to sit down with you? Okay. All right. I endorsed Bernie before. Now I'm going to come out and do it for Trump. Go pound sand, Veep.
Yesterday, they all the candidates made their way all throughout Pennsylvania. Kamala Harris was in Allentown. This is cut 3. She was in Allentown, and she said this. Cut 3, go.
And every day I see the promise of America in all the young leaders who are voting for the first time. I love Gen Z!
She loves Gen Z.
Yeah, it's funny. We have tape of her saying that young people are stupid.
What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
Oh, on demand.
That is why we put them in dormitories. And they have a resident assistant.
Yeah.
They make really bad decisions.
They smoke weed and drink Mountain Dew, eat Doritos, and play on the Xbox. Yeah, I remember those days.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I hate phony politicians.
So, Gen Z, I love you. And the Utes. And they're a stupid bunch of people.
By the way, Joe Rogan quoting the influence of Elon Musk, saying that Elon Musk made the most compelling case for Trump, and that is what Rogan credits. He says, the great and powerful Elon Musk, if it wasn't for him, we'd be effed. For the record, yes, that's an endorsement of Trump, quote unquote.
Would be, when we see who wins this thing, whenever we find out, and for whatever the reason might be, you're looking at exit polling numbers. Did Trump get to this number with black voters? Did he get to this number with Jewish voters? Did women with Roe v. Wade, was that the reason why Kamala won? Things like that. Was abortion the top issue for said liberal female? Wouldn't it be wild if Trump is victorious because of the Bobby Kennedy, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan faction of society that is anti-big government, anti-big agency, anti-pharma, but still has liberal viewpoints. Wouldn't it be wild if it's that demographic of voter out there in America that slid to the Trump side because they were, and not that the endorsements matter, but because they were of the same migration politically as Musk, Rogan, and Kennedy. Now, Kennedy's just a pimp. He just sold his services, right? I think Bobby Kennedy, for the right reasons, would have been in Kamala's corner had that played out.
100%.
Yeah.
He's a Kennedy. They have no values.
That's right. You want to go on a Kennedy day?
No.
It's election day. You want to go on one?
We should break because every line is lit. So.
Yeah. Wow. All right. We'll take all of your phone calls. We got our buddy Mark Fu and a lot of others. So hang tight. We will get your phone call on the other side. Calls right through the rest of the hour. I feel like I'm on a sports station. We're going to run the board. We're going to run the board when we come back. 855-839-1210. But first, a word from my friends at DuckDuckGo because why? Well, we're all sick of Google, right? We don't trust them. They suppress search results. They spy on you. It's just awful. And that's why I'm proud to partner for a second time on Kayal and Company with DuckDuckGo, the best search engine going. And now they're taking online privacy and security to the next level, which is why I have subscribed to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. And I encourage you to do the same. It's a 3-in-1 privacy service that is going to give you, first of all, a secure VPN anytime, anywhere. Secondly, they provide you identity theft protection. I don't want anybody stealing my identity and trying to ring up something under my name, alter my credit score, sign me up for something I didn't sign up for. And then, of course, personal information removal. We're almost all guilty of it, right? We have way too much information out there, not only on social media, but on the internet. And they're going to remove that for you. Hackers, scammers, con artists, you're going to have to take your business elsewhere. Take advantage of this special offer right now, exclusively for our listeners. Just go to duckduckgo.com/1210 for a free 7-day trial offer. And once you love it, and trust me, you will. I was playing around with it last night. Great app. It's just $9.99 per month. Do it today. duckduckgo.com/1210.
You may have heard, Wawa has pizza. And right now, Wawa has pizza at a really great price.
Wawa has personal pizza for a night of gaming.
And it's only $6.
Wawa has pizza for when we don't want to cook.
And a 14-inch is $8.
Wawa has pizza for after practice.
A 16-inch to feed the team, $10. Right now, get a personal 14 or 16-inch Wawa pizza for just $6, $8, or $10. Wawa has pizza for all at a really great price.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Throughout this campaign, I've seen the best of America, and I've seen what is holding you back and weighing you down. High costs, fundamental rights being taken away, and politics that too often have driven division. Next January, one of us will be president. If it's Donald Trump, he's made clear he'll wake up every day and stew over his enemies list. That will help no one. If I am president, I'll be focused on my to-do list for you, the American people. I'll cut costs by cracking down on corporate price gouging, make housing more affordable, lower taxes for 100 million Americans, and protect Social Security. I'll focus on you and getting things done. And now I'm asking for your vote, because as president, I will get up every day and fight for the American people. Let's get to work. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
Wawa's Hot Turkey is back, and it's bringing the comforting flavors of the season with it. Sink into savory stuffing, cozy up with sweet cranberry sauce, and relax into some warm, buttery mashed potatoes. Grab your pillows and blankets, because Hot Turkey is back. Plus, get your cozy cravings satisfied from the comfort of your bed with $0 delivery when you order on the Wawa app. Try the Wawa Gobbler today in a hoagie or bowl for a limited time. Gotta have a Wawa.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
.46, Kayal and Company, Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. As we get ready to vote, some of you have voted, some of you will be voting later today. And then we sit back, we wait, we watch. Don't forget tonight, live election night coverage right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Myself, Don Stensland, Rich Zioli, right at 7 o'clock. Right after the Rich Zioli show wraps up. Our boy Jimmy Fala, Michael Pelka, our boy Rooney, Dom Giordano in the second half. He'll take you deep into the night. 855-839-1210. By the way, Stalker, are you going to be popping on or doing anything, or are you just coordinating from behind the scenes?
It's not about me.
It's not about you
guys.
Okay. Let's get to some of our callers. Let me actually start with our buddy Sergeant Mark Fu, who is on line 6. Mark Fusetti, what's happening, pal? What did you see today?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
What's up, pal?
Gotta say, it was easy. It was in and out. I probably would have been in and out even faster, but, yeah, workers inside seemed like they were having a little bit of trouble IDing some people, not like checking their IDs, but finding out if they were registered or not. So other than that, it was easy. So hope that's, not a sign that people aren't going to come out today, but, we'll see. Usually up here we have a really good turnout. Everybody usually gets out and votes. Early morning, dinner time rush, and then at last minute.
So all in all, roughly how long do you think you were there from when you were in line till you walked out the door?
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Wow, that's efficient.
And you're in the lower northeast Philadelphia, Mayfair.
Far northeast. I'm all the way up at the very end.
Oh, you're far northeast. Okay.
Yeah, so we have a lot of the, immigrant community of Russians, Ukrainian up here. So, there's a lot of the people that were in there were, of that descent. So it was just me and a few of them, and that was it. Picture I posted on Twitter was poll workers. There was nobody waiting in line. When I got in there was only 3 people ahead of me. Okay. And then by the time I left, there was probably like 6 or 7 people just waiting to get their slip to go into the pool.
All right. Mark Fusetti, thanks for checking in, brother.
Good and easy so far.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you. There he is, Sergeant Mark Fu. Nice contributor. Anytime we need some crime information, he's always available. We appreciate that. Let me try Rich in Hamilton on line 2. Rich, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Rich, you go right ahead, sir.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Rich.
Actually, I'm in West Deptford. We voted over here in West Deptford. We walked in, we walked out. Couldn't have been more than 10 minutes.
Wow.
They had at least, I want to say, 10 people signing people in. The polling place was so efficient. There was no problem whatsoever. It took me longer to walk from my car to the actual polling place than it did to actually vote.
Okay.
Nice.
Very good. Rich in West Deptford, thank you very much. Let's continue getting all your thoughts. This is an interesting call. Line 5, I've got CJ in Havertown. CJ, you're on Talk Radio 1210.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Love the show, obviously. Really quick, so this morning I was in line for about 25 minutes. Probably took me about 5 minutes to vote once I got in. And so it's fairly easy. The line was long around the corner, but it was efficient, no problems. I was calling to piggyback off what Dawn was talking about earlier. For reference, me and my wife were both African American. We're a split household. I'm a Republican. She's a Democrat.
Okay.
But as of now, she would classify herself as a true undecided. She literally has no idea what she's going to do today when she goes to vote.
Wow.
That doesn't mean she's going to vote for Trump.
Right.
But she knows for a fact she's not voting for Kamala.
Wow.
And this is a lifelong Democrat. She says there's something about her she doesn't like. She cannot stand her. But again, that doesn't mean that's an automatic vote for Trump. She may go Libertarian, she may go Third, she may go Green Party, whatever.
Yep.
But she knows today, for a fact, she will not vote for Kamala Harris.
How about that? And so she is, as you said, a true undecided. I mean, this literally could come down to when she gets in that booth and then goes with intuition, gut instinct, whatever you call it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, like me, if I got her on the phone right now, she'd tell you herself.
Okay.
She knows she's not voting for Kamala.
All right.
So you're in Delaware County. I mean, the Trump campaign has spent a lot of time in Delco. Do you think that was time well spent by the campaign? Did that impact your wife? They were talking a lot about the economy. Taxes have gone up in Delco. Does that have any impact on it, or is it just?
It's definitely the economy. Well, I mean, for me, on a personal level, I mean, for her, I think, I don't want to speak for her, right? But I think that she thinks that Kamala is just not likable. She comes off as phony.
Yeah.
Now, the economy is a big thing for us. We do fairly well for ourselves. Like, she works at a big-time university up here. I work in the defense industry. We do fairly well. But we find ourselves going into our savings. We find ourselves using credit cards a little more than we would like.
Yep.
And just going to the supermarket is a big thing for us. We have a 2-year-old and an 8-year-old, and they eat, and we eat, and we try to eat as healthy as possible.
Yep.
And that means a lot of steak and a lot of protein, but that stuff costs money.
Oh yeah.
And it's a struggle. Like, we're spending hundreds of dollars for maybe 2 bags of things, and that just wasn't the case 4 years ago.
Right.
And I think that's also something that she. That is affecting how she feels about this.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah.
And I will say, my last thought: Republicans, I don't like their ground game in Delaware County. I had one person come to our door. Meanwhile, we've had 3 Democrats come to our door since this thing started. So we got to fix this election season. So for me, that is a problem. I already knew what I was doing. I voted down ballot. I'm not afraid to admit that. I didn't care at this point. I voted down ballot because that's what matters to me.
Right.
My son does not go to public school. He does not go to the school district here. He goes to a traditional Catholic school in Ardmore because we know that, I can't trust these public schools not to indoctrinate my son, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents.
I got you. CJ, thank you so much for the phone call. How about that? A true undecided.
I
didn't think that existed.
That ground game thing is a huge, we'll see how much ground game matters, if it matters at all. I don't necessarily think it does, but the Harris campaign had a immense ground game.
And it came to my door.
I saw nil for the Trump campaign, at least where I am. So, I don't know. Does ground game matter? Maybe, maybe not. But he did have a very good point there in Delco about the ground game.
Yeah, to your grocery point, real quick, just to the grocery point. CJ, if you missed the show at 6:30, go back and listen. I gave you the story from Politico about how grocery prices could be a deciding factor with Pennsylvania. So
some of the people who came to the door, not in Philadelphia, but in the burbs, were pushy. Were men who, women, moms answering the door. I got that from so many different people saying, they respect somebody who's a volunteer no matter what their party affiliation. But some of these guys were kind of aggressive and sexist.
Oh.
That did not go over well.
Interesting. All right. The name of the game is stay in line for voting and for calling this show. So everybody that's on my board right now, hang tight. I want to get all of your thoughts. 855-839-1210, the phone number. We'll get to all of your calls on the other side and all of the typical stuff in the 9 o'clock hour. Kayal and Company, fourth and final hour, Election Day, next on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
The NBA is back in FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. America's #1 sportsbook wants you to catch all the action. Oof, the Sixers game last night with the return of Paul George. Set his knees better, but I don't know, 15 points, and they still lost. They still lost right there at the buzzer to Phoenix, and they start the season 1-5, the worst season they have had since Joel Embiid has been on the team. By the way, not really sure when the return of Joel Embiid is going to happen. I guess it's day by day. All you have to do is catch every tip-off and buzzer beater and place a $5 bet on the NBA to get 3 months of NBA League Pass courtesy of FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/Greg to make every moment more of the season. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA and the official partner of 1210 WPHT. 21 and over, President PA. After 3 month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou, a term provider, 800-511-3535. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider, 800-511-3535. That's 800-511-3535. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-511-3535.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Hey, Pennsylvania, you've got a big choice to make. Who are you going to send to the Senate?
Bob Casey's Pennsylvania through and through. Scranton born, PA values.
Dave McCormick's the hedge fund CEO, living in Connecticut for 15 years.
Casey is taking on Mexican drug cartels smuggling fentanyl and voted for the toughest border bill in history.
McCormick opposed that bipartisan border bill and got rich investing in Chinese fentanyl.
Casey is working to restore abortion rights.
McCormick wanted to outlaw abortion with no exception for rape.
Casey wrote the bill to expand Social Security.
McCormick's plan could cut Social Security and your Medicare.
Bob Casey has always fought for you.
Dave McCormick fights only for himself.
Pennsylvania, it's your choice now, and you have a great one with Bob Casey.
Paid for by Win Senate, which is responsible for the content of this ad. WinSenate.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Woohoo! Another girls' night out. I'm so stressed from shopping, I couldn't find anything. Have you tried shopping jewelry television? JTV? I don't know. Everyone in my family is so different. JTV has thousands of jewelry styles. Artisan, diamonds, pearls, colored gemstones, watches, even gift sets. I shop on TV and online.
New JTV customers save up to $40 when you shop jtv.com/radio.
Now, can you relax? Yes. Another round? Yes.
See Joe Conklin with the City Rhythm Orchestra at Newman Goretti High School in South Philly, Saturday, November 23rd. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Seems everyone has an opinion on where the stock market is going, but where should you be going? Find out with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, Dawn here. When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with precision and care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without all the hassle. Trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades. Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation at kitchenmagic.com. kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. Tell Dawn sent you.
This year's election may determine the future of Social Security.
Jim O'Neill, Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania. I have my doubts about where we're going as a country. My concerns with the election and the economy are that much of our Social Security funding may dry up in 7 years, 10 years, which is not good for the citizens who paid into that system. With the crash-proof retirement system, I can supplement or even replace Social Security and not deplete my nest egg. It's guaranteed. This year, I have earned over 14%. We do not have to pay any fees, and you cannot lose it. I am election proof because no matter what happens in this election cycle this year, I am protected by crash proof retirement.
Election proof your retirement future. Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at Springfield Country Club, November 20th, 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Let's go, Harry! Scale and Company! 9:02 as we roll on. It is a Tuesday morning, Philadelphia. Been watching a lot of the television during some of the commercials. All sorts of live reporting throughout the suburbs of Philadelphia, courtesy of not only Fox News, but Fox 29 locally.
Yeah, I was just going to say it. I'm sorry, Nick.
Go ahead.
No. I see Fox News with the, aerial shots of, Pennsylvania. We're getting real live reporting from people standing in line here. That's why this is the best station. This is what you should tune into all day long and into the wee hours of the night. Don't turn us off because we have live, reactions from people who are voting, who are there in the townships that we live in or surrounding counties. So this is the place to be. This isn't some national. This is why we're live and local here. Days like this is why we are live and local here all day long, because you're not getting some national perspective. You're not getting people who've never been to Pennsylvania. You're getting people who live in this city, and you're not getting fake people who pretend to live in the city to do a radio show here, but actually don't live in the city. These are actual people who live in this area that are giving you their reporting from the ground. So that's why 1210 WPHT is the place to be all day long, all week long, every day. But this is, genuine reaction here from people who live here.
Yes.
Don't fall for the phonies.
There you go.
I have to tell you, I'm humble and honored for those of you just maybe tuning in for the first time, whether it's to YouTube or Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. It's an honor to be here and to be part of this because it is something very special that's happening. And Greg, I think this is the first time, at least in a very long time, where this station has been live and local from early in the morning, the wee hours of the morning, right, till late at night.
I think it might be since WWDB.
Oh my goodness!
So yes, so this will be the first. This will be the first election where we will be here with you all day long, all evening long, into the wee hours. Not a national perspective from people who aren't here. Not even a local perspective from people who pretend to be here.
There you go.
All local people here, right here. Thank you.
By the way, too, because tonight we're going to have all of that for you. Myself, Dawn, and Rich starting at 7, right after Rich wraps up the afternoon show. And then Jimmy Fela, Michael Pelka, Matt Rooney, Dom from 9 to 11. I think I'll be wrapping up about 9 o'clock, so I'll be specifically on from 7 to 9. But do we, and I don't know if I should ask the question on the air or not, but what the hell? I already brought it up. Do we want to take calls tonight throughout the evening as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I didn't know if we would have the capability with us being remote from home.
Of course, that'll be the most important part of tonight's show.
Is you.
Yes, 100%. So everybody call in, stay online. I know, our call volume today is higher than usual. So please be patient and stay on hold.
Right.
But we will get to all of you.
Yes.
And for those of you calling in, election attorneys are listening, and that's the power of this, that they're listening, they're doing filings. So when you call in, when you see something and then you say something, it is being reported and dealt with in real time.
Yep. 100%.
That is correct.
Yep.
855-839-1210. I'm just going to go right from top to bottom here. Tom is in Percy. Tom, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Tom, you go right ahead, sir.
Hey, good morning, guys. And for the new listeners out there, GregStockerSucks.com.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. Love you, buddy.
So, love you too. So, listen, I live in West Rock Hill. It's a Republican stronghold. I voted. I was in line almost as long as I was on hold, but that's another thing. But anyway, I was voter number 151. I had gotten a mail-in ballot, but decided I was going to vote in person to see the process. So I got there. The lady took my name. I could have said I was Joe Schmo. Did not ask for ID.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a table, turned in my, what they call that, turned in my mail-in ballot, went back, signed in electronically, no ID required. Came back, did my ballot, put it in the envelope, then I put it in the secret envelope with all my information on it, never asked for ID, handed it to the poll worker that was there, and he took my envelope without any ID.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to me. I ran into a buddy of mine outside that was standing in line. I said, Rich, I could have identified as you, and they would have never known.
Yeah. This is Tom. It's the same thing I ran into in 2022 for the midterms 2 Octobers ago. I went in. The lady asked for, I forget what was like the first 3 letters of my last name, and I think the first 3 letters of my first name, and she never asked for ID. So I just took my driver's license out, and I make sure every time I put it down on the table so that they can see it, regardless.
Yeah, I had my driver's license. I had my registration card, and nobody ever asked for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, yeah, it's and I think we'll do well. But again, great show, guys.
Thanks, Tom.
Look forward to a greater week.
Yep. Hopefully. Fingers crossed, brother.
By the way, a lot of people are asking if we will be on YouTube. Yes, we will be on YouTube all day and all night.
Yes.
So just make sure, if you haven't done so, because of reasons that I won't bore anybody with, we have to kind of switch feeds sometimes. So make sure you're subscribing and you're hitting the bell, because when you hit the bell, it alerts you as soon as we go live.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you can ring my
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can know when we go live. We'll be live up until 10 o'clock. Then Dawn will be live. Dom will be live. Rich will be live from McCormick headquarters in Pittsburgh today. Again, another local perspective that you're not getting anywhere else from any sort of nationally syndicated show that tapes 2 hours in advance that is on their private helicopter somewhere. It's the real live. Yeah, I'm blowtorching.
I love
today.
sticking people.
I'm blowtorching today to all the phonies out there. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people who we kicked off this radio station going on to other radio stations, trashing this radio station. Screw you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Who's trashing us?
Nobody.
And can we get a private helicopter?
It's not even worth talking about.
Stalker's taking out the trash right now.
Did Nick Kayal get a private
5,000.
chopper in his new contract?
No.
I mean, come on.
5,000 watt radio station. Ooh, we should be scared.
No private chopper, Dawn. But I will say this: if you've ever wanted to see me in my smoking jacket, in my slippers late at night, tonight's your night.
Ooh.
But yes, we will be broadcasting live all day and all night on YouTube, so make sure you put us on your big screen.
Yeah. All right, 855-839-1210. Let's continue on with your calls. Joe is in Columbus, New Jersey. Wants to talk a little Ricky Martin. Hello, Joe.
Hey, good morning, guys. Before I talk about that, I just want to tell you it was so much a pleasure meeting you at the mock debate.
Oh, it was great to meet you as well.
No, you guys, you're tops. And Kamala, I think the only alternative she would have to calling herself an underdog is calling herself the bestowed. So I guess it was the lesser of both evils. How appropriate and timely was it for Ricky Martin to pick that song, La Vida Loca?
Yeah.
Doesn't that translate out to the crazy life?
That's right. Voting for her and putting her in office for another 4 years would be the crazy life after these last four, right?
And the last 4 years.
Yep. Totally agree.
Unbelievable.
I agree.
Unbelievable.
Yep. I personally, I would have went Enrique Iglesias, but she chose Ricky Martin, the lesser of the two. So that's another calculated misstep by their administration. Let's continue. Let's see. Where do I want to go here? Let's do Bob in Malvern. He's got an update from his call from yesterday. Bob, you go ahead.
Hey, I want to know what Greg Stocker's real feelings are about how coverage is done in the area.
Sorry.
Greg,
Sorry,
stop
Bob.
dialing it back. Can
Bob,
you be
I'm
a little untapped?
I'm sorry.
Come on, let's go.
I'm very passionate about this radio station. Okay, I'm very passionate about the radio station and the people on it. And I don't like to be overlooked. I don't like to be overlooked by FM sports stations, and I don't like to be overlooked by anybody. What we do here is important. What we do here is great. And if I'm not here blowing the horn, nobody else will. Sorry.
And I think Bob evaporated.
Bob.
Come back to me.
Anyway, hey, this is really important stuff. So the update from yesterday, so we go down to voter services after, remember, we did 2 identical mail-in ballots, the same date, the same place, the same drop box, meticulously filled out, the same thing. Mine's recorded, hers is...
Yeah, no.
Everyone there has the same problem. Okay, and what it is you go into voter services online and you see that your ballot has not been returned. That's what they say. So they look up after about 15 minutes and they find out, oh, well, we got it, but there was some verification issue. I said, well, what does that mean? Well, it could have been you put down the wrong social. No way. My wife has voted for the last 6 years, and she's lived in this state with the same telephone number, the same address, the same name, the same Social Security number, the same. I said, no way. So after 15 minutes, though, they said, well, we have to void your ballot. They give you a form. You fill it out. You have to show your ID, your photo ID, and they give you a new ballot. Mm-hmm. So after we get the new ballot, okay, so it's nice. They accept it. We put it in. I asked them, I said, what would have happened if we didn't come in? And they said, your ballot would have not been counted.
Wow.
So there is, I saw yesterday on TV, I don't know if it's true, there is 500,000 Pennsylvania ballots in limbo for this exact reason.
Oh, Bob, it's funny you say that, because, Dawn, you brought that up earlier this morning with the early numbers, and you were of the belief, and I don't want to put words into your mouth, that they were in transit still, or...
I keep hearing this. I've been hearing this week with the mail-ins, and it concerns me. And just in case somebody's just tuning in, Bob, the story was, okay, you're in Malvern, Pennsylvania. You and your wife changed your affiliation. So you changed it to independent or Democrat, but your wife remained Republican. She's the one who's having it, as I recall. Is that correct?
He's gone.
He's gone, but I think that was the story.
Okay.
But in other words, one of them had, for whatever reason, changed it, thinking to do a little experiment because it doesn't matter what the registration is. That if I go maybe I won't get targeted or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And the wife was the one, as a longtime Republican, who seemed to be having the problem. That's concerning.
Yeah. 855-839-1210. Kelly is in Westchester. Kelly, you're on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, how are you?
We're good, Kelly. How are you?
Good. So I live in East Goshen Township, and I had expected a line this morning, but no line. I was in and out in 5-6 minutes.
Wow.
And everything went really well.
Okay.
And just demographic-wise, I'm 55, I'm divorced, I'm white, and I'm all in on this Trump team. Third time voting for Trump. I really don't see how anybody could feel differently with the economy and all this woke nonsense and the threats from our enemies. But I just wanted to give you that feedback from Chester County.
Kelly, there she is, Westchester, Pennsylvania, 55. She is divorced, and she lives in a van down by the river. No, I'm just kidding. So it's interesting when you talk about 5 to 6 minutes. I think from all the calls we have taken this morning, that is about the fastest. That was even faster than, I think, Mark Fusetti, who had, 8 minutes?
8 minutes, yep.
Yeah. Why do I got the feeling that I'm going to go to my spot in Bluebell today and get stuck there for 2.5 hours, which is fine. I have the time. Again, I encouraged the early voting, early in-person, mail-in ballots, but I'm doing it not because I don't trust it, but because I'm out at 10 o'clock and I can afford to sit there for 4 hours. I'm not doing an 8 or a 10 or a 12-hour job like a lot of you that actually have a real job for a living and don't get to just bloviate on the radio. So I'm prepared to sit there all day. I'm actually going to swing home real quick, because I'll probably have to use the bathroom. And then I'm going to go. And I'm going to tell my wife, if I don't come back, honey, just wait longer.
A lot of information in that.
You like that? I'm an open book.
Jesus.
Unlike Kamala.
God.
I will give you comments.
But you bring up the point, and that's what we keep hearing. I loved CJ, who told us from Delco, Havertown, the fact that I just hear this more and more from women who want to like Kamala Harris. Do you know what I mean? Even if they're voting D, they want to like her. But what is it about her that they just don't? And I think part of it is, it's like that they should have had Pink singing last night, because what is it, the Pink song, that they tell you change everything you are?
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what what the Democrat Party, what they did to the vice president. Yeah. They've, far left progressive, further than Bernie as a senator. Then she gets to be at the top of the ticket. And they said, whoa, we got to pull you back. You can't say anything that you believe in. That's what I perceive. But even before that, why is it that she just doesn't relate to people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was wrong, because I said there's just no way you could be undecided on election day, right? And CJ, his wife, proved me wrong. And I've got to imagine that there's more of those people out there like that legitimately, and you say looking for a reason to like Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
I would also argue the other side of it, looking for a reason to be able to pull the trigger for Trump, right? Mm-hmm. Because maybe they don't like Trump, but they know the results they had with Trump are better than what they've had with Joe, and they presume better than what they'll get with Kamala, right?
Yeah, there are principled people. Born-again Christians, Catholics. I have friends who are longtime conservatives, Republicans, Jewish and Christian, who in the past said, I cannot vote for Trump. They don't like some of his tweets. Maybe they did in the past. They don't like, parts of who he is or what he's about. And this time around, they're saying, you know what? I am voting for him because although they still feel strongly about those other issues, they feel at the end of the day that it's too important with the economy, the way the country is going. And so it's the fact that they believe now that it's an important vote, not for Trump, but for a way of life. And part of that is, yes, the economy. Part is the so-called war machine, the swamp. But I think a lot of people are doing that soul searching, and so it'll be interesting to find out: is the anti-Trump vote that we saw in the past, let's say, even by those so-called far-right, the true conservatives, right, who are people of principle.
Yep.
And they felt, I cannot vote for this person because he was a Democrat, because he's too moderate.
Yep.
At this point, how will they vote?
We'll see. I've got the op-ed from Nikki Haley that she penned in the Wall Street Journal. I think this is the ideal time to read this because you're talking about, well, I'd like to vote for Trump, but I don't like him because of X, Y, and Z. Nikki Haley, I just want to read you one paragraph here. Nikki Haley wrote this herself for the Wall Street Journal. She says, millions of people love Donald Trump and millions hate him. Each group will vote accordingly. But there are also millions whose views on Mr. Trump are mixed. They like much of what he did as president and agree with most of his policies, but they dislike his tone and they can't condone his excesses, such as J6 2021. This third group of Americans will determine whether the former president returns to the White House. To that group, I'll point out that Mr. Trump isn't the only one on the ballot. This election isn't a referendum on him. It's a choice between him and Kamala Harris. I don't agree with Mr. Trump 100% of the time, but I do agree with him most of the time. And I disagree with Ms. Harris nearly all the time. That makes this an easy call. It's a longer article, but I wanted to read that in light of what we're talking about here with undecideds who want to go this way or want to go that way. Obviously, we know Nikki Haley was, quote, the last one standing in the primaries, even though she stuck around for way too long and had no shot. But she came around and gives that half-hearted endorsement.
Why do you guys think that she's willing to write an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal, but the Trump campaign didn't have her go out on the trail?
It's interesting because I said down the stretch that I was waiting to see it happen, and I thought maybe it would have some significance.
I disagree that I think it would have any significance because I don't think there are any Nikki Haley voters. That being said, having her in the collared counties of Philadelphia speaking to women is probably not a bad strategy.
I agree. I don't think it hurts, right? It's not a net negative in any way. Nobody's going to sit there, well, I hate Trump. I was going to vote for Trump, but the fact that he brought Nikki Haley out on October 28th, I'm not going to vote now. Nobody's doing that, right?
In The Hill, Brian Kilmeade actually wrote that he, in a piece yesterday morning, Kilmeade wrote, Trump needs Haley in the final hours of the campaign. That was, one of the headlines. But I think that it's wise. I think they have brought her out as far as speaking, but you're right. Remember, she did campaign with Dave McCormick here in Pennsylvania.
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah. But so I just find that whole dynamic interesting. Here's why I think. Do you remember at the RNC when Nikki Haley took the phone call? And by the way, we haven't talked about J13 enough because I think what happened here in Pennsylvania in Butler made a difference for people who thought that somehow Trump was doing this as like a phony or what have you. I think that when he came up with his instinct, when he was not just shot at, he was shot in the ear, flipped in the ear by a bullet, by an attempted assassin's bullet. I do think that fight resonated with a lot of people that, okay, this guy to have that instinct.
Sure.
This guy's the real deal. I think that did change things. But when he calls Nikki Haley and says, I want you here. We want you here. We got to bring this party together. And I thought that was a great moment. But when she took the stage at the RNC, it got quiet. I remember that. And so I think there's a feeling that, I don't want to bring her out on a stage. Does she get booed? Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that works. The only thing I can think of is at the RNC, she got on the stage. There was a warmth and a welcoming. She spoke relatively quickly. She got off. She did not get a standing ovation. Yeah. It wasn't like huggy, kissy, kissy. Right. People were like, okay.
Right.
Not for nothing. Good for you. Bye-bye. I mean, it wasn't loving.
Yep, I agree. 855-839-1210. We'll come back. Morning Mystery Movie Clip. What's on the Cut Sheet Part 2 and more of your phone calls. As we continue, I see a lot of Montgomery County starting to check in here on my board.
Good.
I like it. We'll talk about it next here on Kayal and Company.
First, we got to talk about our great escape to paradise. got together with some of my friends, and that's just it. We're making dear friends, lifelong friends. Got together with some of we call each other our Italy friends. And we had probably, I don't know, nearly 100 of us got together just on Friday night after football. It was just an incredible night at Mary and Rick's house. So thank you for that. But we're off again to Paradise, the Italian Riviera this time. And this is a gastronomical event that only Conservative Tours can deliver. Join me for 11 luxurious days with the professionals from Conservative Tours, the best tour operator in Italy, as you well know if you went last time with us, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, Portofino, Rapallo, Santa Margherita Ligure, Tuscany, and the brilliant Cinque Terre. $53.78, yes, that includes your airfare, dining events at the wineries in Tuscany, even an authentic farm visit to see Parmesan cheese being crafted by hand. Call toll-free 888-733-9494. You can go to conservativetours.com, get the full itinerary. You'll see my name there in picture. You'll see pictures of all of these hidden Italian villages that you've never seen that we'll visit, like Giacomo Puccini, San Gimignano, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Florence, and Milan. We will conclude this incredible tour on the Lakes region with Bellagio, Orta, and Isola Bella. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Cinque Terre, conservativetours.com. Make sure you tell them Dawn sent you.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
Businesses to watch. It's tailgate season at Armin Chevrolet. Armin offers an incredible lineup of SUVs. A 2025 Armin Chevrolet Trek starts at only $21,495. That's right, only $21,495. From the all-new Armin Equinox and Traverse to the stylish Blazer to the full-size Tahoe and Suburban, Armin Chevrolet has an SUV to fit your needs and budget. It's tailgate season, and Armin Chevrolet is the place to buy or lease your perfect Chevrolet SUV. Armin, where dealership meets friendship. Together, let's drive. Learn more at ArminChevy.com.
When you go on vacation, does it make sense to have someone else pack for you? Of course not. The same can be said for your retirement. Your 401k could be packed with things you don't know about or even need. If you're close to retirement but don't have a plan customized to your goals, that's kind of like taking a 30-year vacation with no idea what's in your suitcase. Seems like a stressful way to start what should be a relaxing time. Jim Cipriotti and the Retire Ready Financial Group can help you unpack your savings and build a plan to help reduce future taxes, along with a clearly defined income strategy. Call Jim at 610-894-7415 for your complimentary retirement game plan, or visit retirereadyfg.com. That's 610-894-7415.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
They don't call her Confiscation Kamala for nothing. Don't take it from us.
And I support a mandatory buyback program.
A mandatory buyback program? That means the government forcing you to turn in your firearms. To what lengths would Kamala go? Well, she doesn't even support the individual right to own a firearm.
I'm prepared to take executive action and put in place a ban on the importation of assault weapons into our country.
We get it. Sometimes it's tough to understand what she's talking about. But on the Second Amendment and your rights, Confiscation Kamala has been crystal clear. Her gun control agenda comes straight from that petri dish of bad ideas that is California. She can claim to be a gun owner all she wants, but we all know she's the same anti-gun California radical she's always been. Don't be left defenseless. Defeat Confiscation Kamala. Vote Trump like your life depends on it, because it does. NRA Political Victory Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. NRAPVF.org.
Businesses to watch. Kick off fall with a new Armin Chevrolet Equinox. Right now, Armin Chevrolet is leasing a new 2024 Equinox LS for only $199 per month for 24 months with 10,000 miles per year. That's right, only $199 per month. Together, let's drive. Visit Armin Chevrolet in Ardmore or shop 24/7 at arminchevy.com. Armin, where dealership meets friendship. MSRP $28,035. Taxes, tax, first payment $19, $39.99 down payment with Sunday. Requires current lease and also major bank approval ends 11/10/24.
There's breaking news all day long from around the world, and sometimes all that noise makes it hard to hear about what's happening right here at home. With the free Odyssey app, getting your local news plus breaking news is easy. And even when you're not near a radio, stay connected with what's going on right here by listening live and push alerts. Just download the free Odyssey app and search and follow your local news station, and you're good to go. The local breaking news to get you through your day at your fingertips on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Holy cow.
Look at those lines, folks. Wow. Lines are packed all across the Delaware Valley. Seeing tweets 100, 125 deep. Our buddy Athan Koutsarumbis, Real Clear Politics, showing some visuals on social media in the upper northwest sections of Bucks County. Still some big lines. I'm getting text here from my sister and brother-in-law. Lehigh Valley, very busy this morning. We've heard from New Jersey as well. And we'll get to some of these calls here in Montgomery County coming up in just a moment. But first, let's get to our morning mystery movie clip.
And now, the morning mystery movie clip on Kayal and Company. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
You just woke up this morning and suddenly decided to run for president?
No, I just thought that,
Thought what?
Well, I was talking to Mr. McAllister about my leg and how I still want to do something for the school. And
So Mr. McAllister asked you to run?
Well, I talked to him and everything, but he just said that he thought it would be a good idea and how there's all different kinds of fruits and, I just thought,
Okay, you're on, Mr. Popular.
Think you know what it is? Be call at 12 at 855-839-1210 and you could win this great prize.
How about this again today? A digital download copy of the Reagan movie, From Small Town Beginnings to Hollywood and the World Stage. Reagan is the story of overcoming the odds, starring Dennis Quaid. Reagan, available now anywhere you watch movies and available on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital November 19th. Caller 12-855-839-1210. Good luck. We'll see if we get our winner here coming up shortly. All right, let's get a couple of calls in here before we get to the cut sheet part 2. Let's go to Monco, shall we? Bob is in Montgomery County. Bob, you're on Talk Radio 1210.
Hi there. Listen, I'm calling from Lansdale. I have a couple of points. Number one,
it is very humbling that this part of our state is the most important part in the entire country. And I just want all of your listeners to not take for granted the responsibility we have and also the opportunity we have to vote. I can't remember any time this part of the country being this important. It always is. But anyway, so listen, I'm maybe in Lansdale, I have seen more Trump signs in Muslim sections of our city, of our town, in minority-run sections of the town that I have never seen before. And talking to people that work in the city, that work in factories, they're voting for the felon. They said he's one of us, and I'm very optimistic about the collar counties, even a little bit in Philadelphia, and to the points of it's Trump versus Harris. It's more than Trump versus Harris. This is our republic on the line, and I think the issue of this election is whether we believe in the Constitution of the American Revolution or whether we forget that and, admit that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can run our lives for us better than we can run them ourselves. So you're voting for freedom. You're not voting for a person. And I think Trump embodies that more than any candidate, since Reagan at least. So that was my comment.
It's a good point, Bob. Thank you for the call. And you talk about these counties. I mean, Bucks County, I believe the official final number from Scott Pressler was Republicans now entering this election with a 5,000 registration advantage over Democrats compared to 4 years ago. So that plus, of course, Northampton County up in the Easton Bethlehem area, right there with Bucks County, very, very critical counties for the state of Pennsylvania. Let's stay in Montgomery County and go to my neck of the woods. Bluebell we go, and Linda is up next. Linda, you're on Talk Radio 1210.
Good morning. I am done with mail-in ballots. I have had it twice, and now I see why a lot of people don't like them. Because 2 times I did mail-in, and when we went, we had to do a provisional ballot again today. So never again. Okay. And I have voted ever since I could vote, and I am 76 years old, and I have voted in every election. And I am, I'm really passionate about whether it's primary or not, but this was one of the most consequential ever.
But you did get your vote ultimately in, correct?
That is correct. The judge of elections was wonderful. She showed me how to do the provisional ballot and got it in the double envelope, signed everything. She watched it, and she gave us a number that is in my wallet right now, which I will follow up with. All right. And but I will never do it again. Yeah, I'm going to come just like I always do.
Yeah, no, there's definitely issues, Linda. I totally get it. I would love to have paper ballots, ID, one day only, add them up, find out the results. I like how Florida, in a state of 24 million people, can wrap things up by 10 o'clock on election night. I really do think we overcomplicate this for sure. You want to get to the cut sheet, Stalker? You got some, or should we rock a few more of these calls?
Why don't we do this? Why don't we weave?
All right. We'll do the 3-man weave. Well, 2 men and a lady.
Don't you have a 9 o'clock sponsor here, buddy?
Yeah, we do. Let me find that for you. Here we go. 9 o'clock hour, brought to you by McCausland Lock and Alarm. Business owners, excuse me, count on McCausland Lock and Alarm to secure and control access to their facilities, featuring top-of-the-line equipment, industry-leading customer service, and owner Tom McCausland's wealth of experience. McCausland Lock and Alarm. Securing your business, securing your future, and now we secure what's on the cut sheet. Part 2.
What's on
the weave?
The cut sheet!
Part 2. So Elon Musk was on with Joe Rogan yesterday. After this, as Dawn reported, is why Joe Rogan endorsed Donald Trump. There was never a doubt in my mind that he wasn't going to endorse Donald Trump, but I guess
so. Another person that's gone on the Rogan podcast.
Yeah,
amazing. Maybe they'll have us on.
It's funny. He's in Austin doing this interview with Joe Rogan while there's a court battling out about one of his PACs. It's kind of funny.
I guess he really didn't care, did he?
No. I mean, it was such a frivolous lawsuit anyway. What's his name?
Krasner.
Yeah, he was just doing it to be a dick.
F around and find out.
Yeah. a Richard.
Yes.
All right, Elon Musk and Joe Rogan ripped the Democratic Party for spreading hoax after hoax. The good people on both sides, and what's the other one that they throw out there all the time?
The bloodbath.
The bloodbath, yeah. Cut 7, Phil, go.
Office. They're doing all the things that they accuse Trump of doing.
Yeah. Openly. Yeah.
I mean, the sheer number of hoaxes that the Democratic Party is pushing over and over again. And it's like, look, I understand like politicians are going to, exaggerate. They're going to misspeak, and they'll tell occasional, untruths, whatever. That's how it is in politics. But when you have deliberate, concerted, repeated pushing of hoaxes, you're like, wait a second, like, come on, man, this is too far.
And you're supposed to be the good guys.
You're supposed to, and you claim to be the good guys? I'm like, exactly.
You're supposed to be the progressives.
Yes, the Dems are like, oh, we're the good guys. We're the honest people. No, hang on. You can't claim to be the good guys. You can't claim to be the honest people if you're deliberately pushing hoaxes that have been debunked thoroughly.
Yeah.
Well, we're like even Snopes, which is a liberal thing, says it's bogus.
Yeah.
Like the Fine People hoax.
Obama just said that on stage.
Obama just said that. I was like, what?
He doesn't give a. He doesn't give a. They're just
That's
going
a
flat out lie.
Flat out.
How about the other one where Kamala's campaign used what Trump was saying about protecting women and from illegal immigrants?
Thank you.
You remember that? What he was saying is, if the women like it or not, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
When he was saying that, they were trying to say that he was taking away women's right to choose whether women like it or not. Like, that's not what he was saying.
Absolutely.
He was literally talking about protecting them from dangerous people that are sneaking in through the border.
Yes, exactly. They'll take like not even a full sentence, like a half a sentence from Trump, and then they'll push it on every ad, every speaking event, every
and it gets
media.
repeated on the news.
Yes.
This is what's crazy. They'll talk about it on these news shows, news shows.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a recent one that came up, which had a lot of people, because a lot of people reached out to me, was like, they're like, oh, Trump says he wants to execute Liz Cheney. I'm like, that is utter.
It's not what he said at all.
It's not what he said at all. He all he said was like, what he's saying is that, look, if Liz Cheney actually had to fight at the front lines, she'd think twice about going to war.
Exactly.
That, like, it's easy to go to war. It's easy to be a warmonger if you don't have to, risk dying at the front lines. Like basically it's up if people are having like fancy dinners in Washington D.C. While people are being slaughtered in trenches.
Just two guys chopping it up, drinking tea, wearing bad T-shirts. That's basically the nuts and bolts of what you just saw there. But what you heard there was true. And Stocker, you played it. And Stocker, you went off yesterday about the whole misrepresentation of what Trump said. And I think it was exactly what they were talking about, right? It was the Liz Cheney comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's been so much of this, and it's why we're just. We're dumber as a society because people don't do their own research. They hear something that's parroted on either social media or on cable news, and they take it as the gospel truth. And we're worse as a society because of it. I really do believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are, because we're a very tribal society, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're isolated in two camps, and we believe everything our camp tells us, and then disagree with and don't believe every single thing on the other side. 855-839-1210. We'll try to squeeze in a call or two before we get out of here. Up next, today in music history and what is on tap for the Dawn Show. We're back after this on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, Kitchen Magic has built a reputation for transforming kitchens with such professionalism, precision, and such care. From custom cabinets to countertops, backsplashes, storage solutions, Kitchen Magic gets the job done and fast. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without all the hassle. You can trust the name your neighbors have relied on for decades now, Kitchen Magic. Get your free in-home consultation, kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. kitchenmagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Throughout this campaign, I've seen the best of America, and I've seen what is holding you back and weighing you down. High costs, fundamental rights being taken away, and politics that too often have driven division. Next January, one of us will be president. If it's Donald Trump, he's made clear he'll wake up every day and stew over his enemies list. That will help no one. If I am president, I'll be focused on my to-do list for you, the American people. I'll cut costs by cracking down on corporate price gouging, make housing more affordable, lower taxes for 100 million Americans, and protect Social Security. I'll focus on you and getting things done. And now I'm asking for your vote, because as president, I will get up every day and fight for the American people. Let's get to work. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
Do you have shoeboxes full of old videotapes and photos with memories you'd love to share with the family this Christmas? Right now, get exclusive early access to Legacy Box's biggest deal of the year. Digitize your memories for just $9 per tape. That's right, only $9 to preserve and share your precious moments. VHS, VHS-C, Hi-8, film reels, and more, saving you over $15 per item. Not to mention, when you digitize your memories now, Legacy Box sends all your memories back on the cloud, so they're easy to access by Christmas, and you can relive them with your family just in time for the holidays. You've heard about Legacy Box all year, but now is the best time to digitize your memories. Hurry, this $9 deal won't last long. Head to legacybox.com/value for early access to our best deal of the year. Don't wait. Secure your digitized memories by Christmas at legacybox.com/value.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
Hey, it's Rich Ziola. You know how important online privacy and security is to me. That's why I subscribe to Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo. It's a 3-in-1 privacy subscription service that helps protect your personal info from being exploited by hackers, scammers, and privacy-invasive companies. Plus, it's from DuckDuckGo, so you know it's legit. With Privacy Pro, DuckDuckGo's VPN secures your Wi-Fi connection anytime, anywhere. It's essential. Second, it has identity theft restoration. If your identity gets stolen, DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro helps you restore it. And third, personal information removal. This is great. You ever search your name online and notice how many sites are selling information about you? Just try it yourself. Privacy Pro will help you remove your personal info from those creepy sites so they can't share it or sell it. Get all this for only $9.99 a month. And as my listener, if you go to duckduckgo.com/1210, you'll get an exclusive 7-day free trial on us. That's duckduckgo.com/1210.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Don Stensland this morning at 10. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT and the free Odyssey app.
If I could stick my hand in my heart, I'd spill it all over the stage.
9:47, Kayal and Company, as we wind things down here on a Tuesday, Election Day. Dawn Stensland coming up at 10 o'clock this morning.
By the way, if you're on hold right now, just stay on hold. Dawn will take you into her show.
So. That is correct.
Yeah, we'll hear an update at the top of the hour from Linda Kearns. We'll hear from Michael Watley, his reaction to everything that's going on.
All right, let's go. Megan is our movie winner this morning. Megan in Havertown. Megan, what movie did we just play for you?
You just played Election.
That is correct. Congratulations. You get the digital download of the Reagan movie. How's that sound?
That sounds lovely. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. There's Megan, and we will wrap up with one last call. Let's go to Jerry in Bucks County. Jerry, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Jerry.
Yeah, how you doing, Chris?
If you can't get my name right
Nick,
after
Dawn,
3
and
years,
Greg.
I have no time for
Nobody's from Kansas City over here, my friend.
You call number 2 elsewhere. All right. So let's.
No, I'm just saying, like, they're silly. Like, we all know each other and like each other, but, like, why are you doing that? Yeah. We're all on the same team.
All right. So I got this interesting text.
No, we're not.
We are, really.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're all on the same team on this radio station.
I know,
F
but
everybody else. Tell me. We're all
what
on the
I
same
meant
team.
was on the.
All right, so let me at least
Not
read
my
this.
fault if you can't make it in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's right. Yeah, not everybody's major market material.
Oh, stop.
So, I got this.
Have unity, people.
This is a text, and I think this is an attempt to discourage voters, perhaps even voter suppression. I just even showed this to Stalker during the break. So I get a text from this random number at 9:41. All right. Now, granted, I give out my phone number probably a little too liberally to people. And sometimes I don't put their name and number in my phone and save you as a contact. So I'm always like, hey, thanks, man. By the way, who the hell is this? So I get this text at 9:41 from this random number. It says, just got some really bad news, Nick. I know somebody on the inside. Okay, so I automatically know that this guy knows nothing. And he told me confidentially, we're going to lose. The numbers aren't going our way. Are you hearing the same thing? And I responded, I said, apologies, but who is this? And as soon as I responded, I get this automated message back saying, message from carrier. If you no longer want to receive messages or calls from this number or want to block this number, please reply with stop or AV stop, AVSTOP. So I think this is an automatic text that people are sending out. This is just my gut feeling to discourage Trump voters. Now, how this person has my name, I don't know. But I think this is another one of these things where they're trying to get Republicans to say, we're in trouble. Don't show up. Our vote won't count. It won't matter.
Or is it the other way?
Or it could be the other way. I don't know. But like, if you get these types of texts and you don't know who they are and they're personalized, don't do what I just did and respond. But
haven't you been getting these all along?
Oh, I've gotten election text and go out and vote text from super PACs and PACs and the Trump campaign or the Harris campaign. But this is completely like a rogue text. So I just wanted to share that with the audience. Don't let it impact what you plan to do today, regardless, whether it's positive or negative. And probably don't even respond. And if you have a radio show, don't talk about it. 855-839-1210 is the number. Dawn will take calls coming up top of the hour. All right, but let's find out what occurred today in music history with Phil on quiz. Courtesy of Greg Stocker's imaging on the board with the machine and the button, and it goes something like that.
What happened on this day in music history? Music history on Kayal and Company.
Today, Election Day, November 5th. We celebrate the birthdays of Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead, who's 52, David Bryson from the Counting Crows, who's 63, Mike Score, lead singer from A Flock of Seagulls, who's 67, Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits, who's 77, Art Garfunkel, who's 83, and Bryan Adams, who's 65. Yeah, a lot today. And just for Jesus, heavenly birthday shout-outs to Pablo Gomez from Spanish beat group Los Bravos, who were the first Spanish rock band to have a UK and US hit single. We also lost Bobby Hatfield from the Righteous Brothers on this day in 2003, and Billy Guy from the Coasters in 2002. Singles include Best of My Love by the Eagles in 74, Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin in 70, Don't Do Me Like That by Tom Petty in 79, and Freebird, yes, that song, by Leonard Skinner in 74. Albums include Madman Across the Water by Elton John in 71, Hello, I Must Be Going by Phil Collins in 82, Reckless by Bryan Adams in 84, and in 2013, Stryper released No More Hell to Pay. Also in 2000, the Who guest star on The Simpsons. In 69, the Monkees were atop the singles chart. In 99, Van Halen announced Gary Cherot is leaving the band. Thank God, because he sucked as Van Halen's frontman. And in 2014, the funeral for Jack Bruce took place. But lastly, on this day in 2010, Keith Richards' autobiography Life was atop the hardcover nonfiction bestseller list. Easily the best autobiography I've ever read. For Kayal and Company, I'm Phil Almquist.
All right, there he is, Phil Almquist on an election day of today in music history. If you're on hold, hang tight. Dawn will continue with your calls. Don't forget tonight, election night coverage. As soon as the Rich Zeoli show wraps up at 7, we have our election show. Myself, Dawn, Rich, Mike Opelka, Rooney, Fela, Dom Giordano coming in on the back half. So we will have you covered late into the night as we hopefully get results as soon as possible.
And yes, on YouTube.
What's that?
And on YouTube.
And on YouTube.
Yep.
And on YouTube.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you,
You're
Phil.
welcome.
There you go.
See, that's what I do every day,
There
so
you
I
go.
got to mention it.
Future brand
I'll be
manager.
here at 7 o'clock.
There he is. There's Stalker's successor. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day. Get out and vote. And as Donald Trump would say to all the men out there,
Harry, get your fat ass out of the couch. You're going to vote for Trump today, Harry.
And stay tuned. Keep the calls coming. We remain live and local. And we got some great interviews right around the corner. You know, my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles featuring the latest luxury vehicles from today's top brands like Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and so much more. These models have such sleek new designs as well as innovative features powered by the latest in technology. And Piazza has thousands of new as well as certified pre-owned vehicles available across their Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey dealerships. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Just visit them, piazzapremiumautos.com, Piazza, piazzapremiumautos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I